Aaron Ramsey, but he was too cute for that, was Ramsey, and he wins the ball back inside. The day after Christmas, goals early and late sealed the 3 points for Jurgen Klopp's men. Darwin Núñez got his first goal since October in the Premier League to set Liverpool on their way in the 6th minute, and they worked so hard to try and get a second with many shots on target. James Trafford in the Burnley goal made some super saves. Salah kissed the crossbar with a left-footed volley from the edge of the area. Burnley had a little spell in the second half where they might have caused a problem. Closest they came was when Endo gave the ball away to substitute Jakob Brun Larsen, but he dragged his shot horribly wide for Burnley. And then, as we headed towards added time, Diogo Jota, back from injury and on as a Liverpool substitute, squeezed the ball home tight to the dead ball line to make it 2-0, and Jurgen Klopp will be happy to have been in Burnley on Boxing Day. Full-time score at Turf Moor. Burnley still can't get those precious points that a relegation scrap would need at home. It's finished. Burnley 0, Liverpool 2.
Top man dance. Liverpool getting the job done away from home against Burnley. 2-0 winners in the end. Diogo Jota getting that one right at the end of the game to rubber stamp a Boxing Day victory. On a different day, Chris, it could have been 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're spot on. You know, I know you're happy with that result, Adam, but yeah, it was. They were a little bit lucky, fortunate. A few decisions went their way, but Liverpool were completely dominant. And then when that goal was disallowed, Burnley had like a 5-10 minute period where they were right on top, putting Liverpool under pressure without having that clear-cut opportunity at goal. So, you know, there's a lot of improvement here, and if Burnley want to stay in the Premier League, they have to start picking up points at home. You know, they'll be nowhere good enough here at Turf Moor.
It does come down to that quality in the final third, doesn't it, from Burnley? Like, they huff and puff and they've absolutely put the effort in. The fans can be proud of what they're attempting on the pitch, but when it comes down to those key moments, they're just missing that little bit of class.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I think there's opportunities, especially even in this game tonight, where they can get the shot away. They're in the 18-yard box, but again, players looking to pass the ball on, take responsibility. You know, have a go. If you're having a shot through players' legs, whatever it be, just make sure you up the goalkeeper. I'd rather that than not have the opportunity at all by trying to overplay, and that's something that the side just have to get right.
Are you concerned for him?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's been a good December. The points are picking up, but that's got to bring confidence and gather that momentum. Yeah. This game here, you know, Liverpool Boxing Day, all the stats and all that. It was always going to be a difficult ask, but like you say, they've showcased. I thought they were poor. I thought they were off the pace tonight, but they have shown that they're getting better in the last couple of games.
Liverpool do have a track record of being top at Christmas time, and obviously they've just gone top with that victory there with a fantastic 2-0 away victory at Burnley. What do you think the credentials are going forward this season? Do you think they can seal the deal and get themselves a second Premier League title?
I think they can. You know, they've got experience in the side. I think injuries will play a part. I think that quality in depth will be stretched. You know, being in the competitions that they're in. But you know, this is part and parcel of it. You know, nothing's going to get thrown at them this season that they've not faced before. You know, I think Arsenal and Man City will be the teams that they're contesting it with. But it's going to be interesting.
I'm interested to see where you're going with this pick for man of the match. Let's get into it, shall we? Time to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Right, Chris, we've got some good ones. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going Cody Gakpo tonight. I thought he was excellent. I know Darwin Núñez got the goal, but I think Gakpo, he was ever present all over the place. He does everything well for me, and that's outstanding performance.
James Trafford's unlucky, isn't he? He's had some good saves in that game for Burnley this evening.
Yeah, definitely.
That was our man of the match for today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Top man. Chris, thank you very much, mate. Safe travels home. Take care.
Thank you.
There you go, Chris Willimore, and dance across the game at Turf Moor. This is how it went down on TalkSport.
We are ready for the off on TalkSport. Gravenberg lays it back to Nunez, into the area. 1-0 Liverpool.
It's an excellent goal, isn't it?
So Liverpool in control already on a ground they love to play at. It's worked in field to Brownhill, who tries a right-footed shot, and it's only just the wrong side of the post. Fired home for 2 by Cody Gakpo, but the whistle has gone. Paul Tierney spotted an infringement.
Well, we've just seen it, haven't we? On the monitor there. It looked very soft to me.
And it remains Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Salah off the crossbar with a left-footed effort as the ball dropped at the edge of the area.
It's just sheer quality.
Gravenberg across the face of goal, and Elliott turns it in for 2-0. There isn't a VAR check for offside.
Salah.
Now, is it Salah impeding the goalkeeper's view? That would be harsh. Another reprieve for Burnley, who could have been several goals behind. Diogo Jota, 2-0, game over. Liverpool are going top of the Premier League.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Get set for the year ahead with a Screwfix winter sale. It's on now and packed with savings on trade essentials. From unmissable low prices on power tools, storage and landscaping, to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix winter sale. Shop now, on the app, at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. End 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Ah, that'll be my Amazon delivery.
Magnificent goal! Beautiful football! Brilliant finish!
Amazon delivers the Premier League. Live today from 11:30. Manchester United v Aston Villa, Burnley v Liverpool and Newcastle v Nottingham Forest. Holland! Only on Prime.
With so much sport happening this Boxing Day, it's going to be a feast for every sports fan. And to celebrate, Betfair are giving you a completely free bet on multiples of bet builders for any sport that day. Be completely free this Boxing Day with a completely free bet and a feast of sport with Betfair.
Previous deposit and opt-in required. Free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Min odds of 1.5 on min one leg. Eligibility criteria and T&Cs apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
McDelivery, you in?
Oh, am I? What a day. I need 6 chicken McNuggets, or maybe 9, or maybe 6 and a cheeky cheeseburger. Makes sense. With something sweet to follow, like an apple pie, or a McFlurry. Or I could get a milkshake instead. You know, a nice halfway house of drink and ice cream.
Jane, the game's just starting.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. You in? At participating restaurants only. 18 plus. Serving times, delivery fees and terms apply. See app or mcdonalds.com for details.
Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Feel the passion and the pride of the Premier League.
Oh, it's a stunning goal!
Game day exclusive, Boxing Day special.
On TalkSport.
It's been a far from festive December for Manchester United. The goals have dried up, meaning the results haven't provided any cheer for the locals. Tonight, they welcome the aggressive front foot football of an in-form Aston Villa, looking to follow Liverpool's lead to the top of the tree. It's the final Premier League game of a bumper Boxing Day of football, and it's live on TalkSport.
Football's Christmas movies can often catch you out. Like all good films, it's what happens at the end that counts, and these two seem ripe for a plot twist.
Man United can get injuries back in the second half of the season. I'm not saying top 4. They can get it right, but I don't know if it's going to be under Erik ten Hag.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 0, and the United fans have already gone home for Christmas.
It is not good enough for our standards. If you have to win games, or if you want to win games, you have to score. So then you have to create also more.
381 minutes without a goal for Manchester United.
So Jim Radcliffe's 25% shareholding in Manchester United will be ratified, and he will take control of sporting matters.
Focus would be on trying to get things right on the pitch, because you've got to go and choose the right point in time at which to make the changes to Old Trafford itself.
Right footed ball in! It's Zaniolo for 1-1!
We are no contender until the day 30-32.
And Villa won't be Christmas number 1.
We're certainly in the race, Jim. There's no doubt about that.
They're full to write them off now. I think they've got so much momentum going with them.
Never ever predict what happens in the Premier League.
Season's greetings from Old Trafford. It's Manchester United versus Aston Villa live on TalkSport. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure to be in your company, and alongside me for this epic clash this evening, the final Premier League game of this bumper Boxing Day bonanza, is former Liverpool and Aston Villa and Republic of Ireland legend Ray Houghton. Ray, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, Ed.
You good?
Yeah, all good, Adam. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
Excellent. Listen, I'm going to get your thoughts on the team news. Sam Matterface is going to be calling you through this game in around about half an hour from now. Sam, for people that have only just tuned in, what is the latest on the teams?
Cheers, Adam. Thank you very much. Dalot and Varane are back in the team after suspension and illness, but although defensive reinforcements are welcome at Manchester United, it's goals that are really the issue. This is a team that only have scored 18 goals in the Premier League this season, and there's only one team that have scored fewer than that this campaign, and that's Sheffield United. 4 changes from West Ham at the weekend, and they start with Onana in goal. The right back is Wan-Bissaka. Evans, Varane and Dalot make up the back 4. Then it's Christian Eriksen coming into midfield with Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund and Marcus Rashford, who starts once again, are the three-pronged attack. What about Aston Villa? Well, they've been one of the season's informed teams, and in Ollie Watkins they've got a finisher of the quality the Manchester United crave, really. If he scores today, he'll become only the 3rd Aston Villa player in Premier League history to score 50 Premier League goals for the club. 2 changes in all from the draw on Friday night with Sheffield United. Cash and Kamara both suspended. Tielemans has a calf issue, so in come Diego Carlos and Leander Dendoncker. It's Emi Martinez in goal. Konsa will play right back. Diego Carlos and Clement Longley will be the 2 centre-halves, with Digne at left back. In midfield, McGinn, Louise, Dendoncker and Jacob Ramsey, and Leon Bailey floating in and behind Ollie Watkins in attack. On the benches, the Turkish goalkeeper Aytal Biendir for Manchester United, Reguilon, Anthony, Facundo Pellistri, Van der Beek, McTominay, Dangor, Hannibal and Willy Kambwala, who started at the weekend. Philippe Marchal is the reserve goalkeeper for Aston Villa. Pau Torres, who's had a bit of a knock but is important to them and will be back soon. Moreno, Chambers, Diaby, Zaniolo, who scored that dramatic late goal on Friday night on TalkSport, John Duran, Tim Oribunam and Sam Proctor on the bench for Unai Emery's team.
Top stuff, thank you very much, Sam. Lots to pick out for Ray Houghton there in a moment or two, but first let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Delighted to welcome back Barry.
Volevo cambiare una parte di me, ma non sapevo da dove iniziare. Così ho iniziato da Serenis. Si può fare psicoterapia, psichiatria, coaching, percorsi specifici da un unico posto. Scopri come funziona su serenis.it.
Apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Right, let's get into that team news that Sam's just given us with Ray Hartman. Ray, no Luke Shaw for Manchester United in the matchday squad. Are you anticipating that it's going to be Diogo Dalot at left back?
Yeah, well, when you look at what's available in the back four that's there, you would say Dalot was the one that's going to be playing that left back position. Wan-Bissaka is an actual right back. You've got two centre halves there in Varane and Johnny Evans. Personally, what I've seen, I've watched a lot of Man United recently. I watched them against Liverpool live the other week at Anfield. I watched the game against Bayern Munich. I would change the system, just me personally, because what I've seen of them, I think you need to have three centre halves. You've got to try and get some wing backs, and you need another striker alongside Højlund. Højlund's a really young lad. He's not scored in the Premier League. He's got 5 in the Champions League. I like what I see of him, but he's on his own. And he's isolated, and the midfielders for Manchester United, and I don't think they'll do it again tonight. With Eriksen in there, Fernandes in there, Menu. I don't think they're the lads who are the type of box-to-box players who are going to get up there quick enough to support him. So then you're looking at Garnacho on the left and Rashford on the right to come in field a little bit. And I think then you change the dynamics how Manchester United play. So that would something I would be worried about, and it's the reason why Sam just said it earlier. They've played 18 league games, they've got 18 league goals, won a game. Manchester United, they've not scored in 5 of the last 6 games that they've played. That's unlike Manchester United any season. This was a stadium that you came to, Adam. I came here many times as a player. You were fearful of what might happen against you as the opposition. No one fears them anymore. The fear has gone out of this stadium. You know, is it 5 wins and 4 defeats in the 9 league games that they've played here this season? I mean, if you're looking at that and you're looking at how they're playing, that's nowhere near good enough. That is not a consistency of performance. You've got a lot of youngsters out there who are still learning their trade, and I don't think they're quite ready yet. I don't think Højlund's ready to play up front on his own. I think he needs support, as I say, he needs support. So I would be getting Rashford, and I'm a huge Rashford fan. I'd love to have played with Marcus Rashford because I see his runs, and if you're a midfield player, you should be able to see the pass. They don't, because too many of them have got their heads down because they're lacking in confidence and belief at the moment. So there's an all-round problem with the players and the confidence, but that also stems from the manager. He's the one who's got to, you know, exert his authority over them in the sense that this is how we're going to play. This is what I'm looking for from you in the game. But when I watch Manchester United, I don't know what I'm going to get. Whereas a lot of others, I know what I'm going to get from Aston Villa. Well, you sort of got an understanding. I watch Liverpool, I know what they're going to do. I watch Arsenal, I know what they're going to do. When I watch Man United at the moment, I don't know what they're going to do because they've got a lot of youngsters who are still learning their trade, still not understanding what the game is about. They haven't got that big experienced game mentality. And let me tell you, Manchester United and Liverpool are the 2 biggest teams in English football, but they are world teams. So when they don't play well, it affects supporters all around the world. Yeah. And they're an easy target at the moment, Manchester United, because of they're not playing well enough. There isn't a consistency to their play. They're not scoring enough goals, they're not creating enough goals. And one of the things that gets levelled against them, and it's the worst thing you can ever get as a player, it looks like you're not trying. And I don't think that's the case. I just don't think they've got that experience out there just to push players into positions and get the best out of them. It's still work in progress, but for a club like United and the stature that they've got, these youngsters have to grow up very, very quickly, and they're not growing at the pace that the manager or the fans want them to.
Yeah, and Sam, on the verge of a little bit of history tonight as well, with consecutive home defeats that you were talking to me about in the coffee room. If this one comes in tonight, is it the first time since 1962 these back-to-back defeats at home?
First time since Sir Matt Busby was in charge in 1962 that would have suffered 3 successive defeats at home. It's the first time already since 1992 that they haven't scored in 4 consecutive games. I mean, it's 381 minutes of football since the last time Manchester United put the ball in the net, which is quite remarkable, really, bearing in mind, you know, the resources that are available and how much they've spent. They've deployed on attacking resources. £85 million on Anthony. He's only on the bench tonight. No assists, no goals for him. Højlund not yet scored in the Premier League, 72 million quid. No one's seen Jadon Sancho for 6 months. Marcus Rashford has only got 2 goals all season. It'd be interesting to see where he plays tonight. Will it be out on the right hand side, or will it be up alongside Rasmus Højlund? We shall see. But even Alejandro Garnacho, who you would say has probably had an okay season, he's 19 years of age. He scored a terrific goal away at Everton, but he's only got 3 goals this season. Yeah, you know, this is a team that are goal shy.
Regarding your old team, watch at the moment. Front foot football, electric stuff, expecting much of the same tonight. And one of their unsung heroes this year has been Pau Torres, who's not playing this evening. How much of a miss is that for them?
Yeah, I think Torres has done exceptionally well. He comes out from the back. Look, listen, most centre halves today, it's not about whether you can defend or not, it's how good you're on the ball. That's what they look for now with the defensive players. Can you get on the ball? Can your goalkeeper pass out from your back? Is your centre half good enough to get turned on and play through the thirds? These are all things that they're looking at. But when I look at Aston Villa, what I see is a team where the manager drives them. He's the one that's in charge, and everyone knows the job. There's no grey area. The players know exactly what's required from them. They've got some talented individuals, like Bailey is the sort of lad that can, you give him the ball and he can do anything. You could be 10 out of 10, he could be 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
He's one of them players, but more often than not recently, he's exciting. It's what the fans want to watch. Gets on the ball and he wants to run at the defenders and he wants to create opportunities. Watkins is in the form of his life at the moment, the goals that he's been scoring. When I seen him at Brentford, he was a left winger, and now he's turned himself into a centre forward, and he looks the part now. He looks like he's grown into the position. He knows the runs that he should be making. He knows the positions that he should be taking up, and he works so well with the midfielders. The midfielders, the likes of McGinn and Douglas Luiz and others in there, they all know what each other's doing. Positionally where they go. So this is what you work and train on a daily basis to improve as a player, but particularly as a group. And you have to give the credit to the manager for doing that.
I think that's the key thing, Adam. The coach has coached the players and improved the players over 13 months being in charge. He has transformed the fortunes of some. He's been part of the recruitment process to bring in one or two that have just supplemented the squad. It's not much difference. It's not a major revolution to the team that was struggling under Steven Gerrard. And look, they've had some slips, they've had some issues, they've had some problems. They went out of the FA Cup last year to Stevenage. That wasn't a great situation. But, overall, if you look at where they are in the league, they're punching above their weight. They're scoring goals for fun. Only Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City have scored more goals than them over the last 12 months. They're a very good football team, and Manchester United have got to be very careful, because one of the accusations that you would label at them is that sometimes they're not set up as well as they should be.
Yeah. Big opportunity for Aston Villa tonight, because history looks at this game and, okay, they don't get too many wins here, but this is a big opportunity for them to get that win.
Well, listen, I was going through the last 40 years. When I came here with Aston Villa, I can't remember winning here, to be honest. If you look, I think the last win was in 2021, September. Before that was 2009.
Yeah.
So you have to go back quite a way.
They've won 4 times out of the last 38 here.
Well, there you go. That just shows you how dominant Manchester United were. But listen, this crowd in this stadium are going to play a huge part. For the Aston Villa fans, they've come here believing their team can beat Manchester United. And you just read the record out there. That's not something they would have believed in before. They were probably thinking here, we're just making up the numbers. But this United crowd, I genuinely, and Sam comes here a lot more than me, and I'm sure you're the same, but genuinely these Man United fans come here to support the team. They want to get behind them. But you've got to do something as players to get them behind you.
Yeah.
So they've got to start at the beginning of the game on the front foot, taking the game to Aston Villa, getting a few shots that go, winning a few tackles. I was at a game recently, Crystal Palace against Liverpool, and one of the biggest noises in the first 15 minutes was Will Hughes winning a tackle against one of the Liverpool players. The whole home support went mad. We're all jumping up in the air. Go on, that's what we want to see. That's still relevant today. Winning tackles is still relevant. Showing commitment, great attitude is relevant today. It's not about getting on the ball and dancing over it 20 times and not doing anything. That's not going to excite the supporters. They want to see someone going out there and, with pride in the badge, pride on the shirt that you're wearing, and you're going out there to show what you can do. That still applies today. It's still part and parcel of being a footballer, is that determination, that desire to win and be a winner. Because this club's been a winner for a long, long time. They've gone through a really tough spell at the moment, and this is when you find out about characters and people. I'll give you an example. I spoke to a Premier League manager not that long ago. I said, how many of your first team can you actually commit to and say, you have them starting lineup? And the manager went 5. I'd look at that Man United team and I'd ask the question, if Ten Hag was picking his best 11, how many of them that starting tonight would be in it? I would say 2 or 3. That's the number I'd go for. So that's where his problems are. That comes down to his injuries. But at the moment, he hasn't got the belief in this group and what they can do at the moment. It's up to them to show him, not the other way around.
You should get in that dressing room and do that. The team talk, mate. You've got me fired up. Old school reducer in the first minute. Beautiful. That's what we want to see, don't we?
Few challenges.
That's it. Proper stuff. Listen, it's going to be a heck of a game. There's lots on the line for both teams. Manchester United taking on Aston Villa live on TalkSport, and it's all coming to you next.
TalkSport Podcast League. Outspoken. The best of White and Jordan.
White versus Jordan. Now with added time.
Simon and I have a different sort of opinion on this, as we do on various things.
When the mics go live, the gloves come off.
That wasn't a proper fight, that was a tune-up. Oh no, come on.
Opinionated debate as combat sport.
And most of these teams have underachieved.
Outspoken.
Listen or download for free on the TalkSport app.
My goodness, who could argue?
On your phone, on your smart speaker,
or from your favourite podcast portal.
The TalkSport Sports Bar, the radio speakeasy for aficionados of sport. Supporting your team in the world today takes everything you've got. You're out of the cup, the title is lost, you're looking at the drop.
It's just completely disgraceful.
Wouldn't you like to have your say?
I don't think 90% of the country think you've got a valid point.
Sometimes you want to go where Jason Condy knows your name. Name's Glenn.
Glenn, go on Glenn boy.
And no horror's glad you came.
Mike, thanks for your call.
You want to moan when you're on the phone that the referee's to blame. You want to be where everybody loves the game. The Sports Bar, late night licks and liquor. Opens Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on TalkSport.
Amazeballs.
Reasons to like TalkSport. 1, 2, 3. Football, golf and cricket, your season ticket. A punt on a whippet and goals. A bit of Super Alley, the dance at Alley Pally. The next at Abbey Valley and Grand Green Bowls. Adiola Depot, the old firm life from Glasgow. Leather on the Willow plus Perry Groves. Premier League footballers, runners, riders, bowlers. Lots of angry callers and anecdotes.
Don't be a blockhead. Listen to TalkSport on DAB Digital Radio 1089 and 10:53 AM on the app and on your smart speaker.
TalkSport.
Live TalkSport Thursday night Premier League football double bill. Swipe right on the app for Arsenal versus West Ham, kick-off 8:15. Swipe left for Brighton versus Spurs, kick-off 7:30, or hear it on TalkSport 2.
Thursday night Premier League football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Christmas 2023 on TalkSport.
Merry Cricketmas and a football new year.
Good fat goals and goodwill to all listeners.
Around the wall and in!
Christmas 2023 on TalkSport.
Erik ten Hag suffers. The Dutchman was the Premier League Manager of the Month in November, but you wonder how long he might be one if Manchester United keep going at this rate.
The underlying current was one or two of them packed it in during game time, and that's not a good sign.
And it's not good enough for our standards.
If you're putting a 25% stake into a club like Manchester United, and we've seen the performances from them this season, we know that people want change.
You scratch beneath the surface, this group of players just aren't very good.
Extraordinary transformation of this famous old club under the auspices of Unai Emery.
Villa are going really well at the moment, as I mentioned before. They'll be still looking at top four positions.
It's Zaniolo for 1-1!
With 39 points, we are going to finish in Manchester the first part of the season, and it's an amazing match for us.
We're at Old Trafford this evening for the final Premier League game of this fantastic Boxing Day. I'm Adam Catterall, pleasure to be with you. Ray Houghton alongside me, as is Sam Matterface. The game getting underway in around about 8 minutes from now. Now, of course, the fans, as they've been walking to Old Trafford this evening, have been talking about their team's form and how they're playing on the pitch. But a lot of Manchester United fans have been speaking about the Ineos Group agreeing to buy a stake in Manchester United, 25% in the club for around £1.03 billion. That's a few quid, let me tell you. So Jim Radcliffe, the man behind that, the chairman of the Ineos Group. And Sammy, if I can bring you in on this, what would that mean for the playing side? Because that's the big thing for the fans, isn't it? They want to change the playing side. I don't think too many fans are too bothered what's going on in boardrooms, as long as what's going on the pitch is working. How does that affect what goes on the pitch?
Well, we broke the story on Sunday, which I think was Christmas Eve, in which we sort of detailed the plan by Ineos to take a 25% share, but 100% control of footballing matters. So the idea is that Jim Radcliffe comes in as the guy, the figurehead, who's going to look after all the sporting matters for the men's and the women's and the academy teams. over the course of the foreseeable future. In fact, there is no date put on how long that might last. That is now the role of his particular group. So he now has full control of that. And I expect him to bring in Sir Dave Brailsford, who we know is going to be here today. He's going to conduct a review. He'll have a look at the procedures and processes at Manchester United, but there's a lot of work to do. And look, I don't think there's anything that's going to happen in the immediate future in terms of an immediate change of fortunes on the pitch. This is something that is going to take a very long time to turn around, because recruitment strategies need to be put in place. I think key personnel behind the scenes are going to have to change. But it's an admission of failure, really, by the Glazers, that over the course of their tenure, they've allowed the club to spend a hell of a lot of money. They're the biggest net spenders on transfer fees over the last 10 years, yet they've got nowhere near the best squad. They've got an average squad, and unfortunately their performances on the field of play have not replicated anything like what was gone before the Glazers took charge, or even during the period shortly after, when Sir Alex Ferguson was still the manager. They've chopped and changed manager in the dugout. They haven't always got their appointments right. They certainly haven't got their recruitment right. And there needs to be a complete overhaul and change. The one thing we do know is that they're going to drive $300 million into the infrastructure here at Old Trafford. Now, this is a place that we're sitting in, and we're very close to one another, and we all squeezed in, and one of the first gags that we all came up with was, thank God we didn't have that extra mince pie yesterday, because it is not a comfortable stadium. And listen, it's a privilege to be here. Of course. We love being at football matches, but this stadium has been left behind in comparison to some other clubs. Liverpool, for example, have started to renovate theirs, stand by stand. Arsenal moved in 2006 into the Emirates. The Etihad is a world away from this in terms of the way it is, appointed. And of course, you've got the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is in a completely different league.
Regarding that, kind of comes back to what you were saying a little while ago, Ray, regarding the play staff and identity. It's one of the age-old things, isn't it, that you can't believe that they don't have a director of football at Manchester United, and I suppose that's going to be one of the main things to give that identity. So therefore the recruitment policy is always on brand, rather than this wishy-washy thing that they seem to have been doing over the last 5 to 6 years.
Well, listen, Sam just said there about over the last 10 years the amount of money that's been spent to this club. Net spends of 1.1 billion, I think he said, around about that, he was telling me. I just think it's incredible. And then you've got to look at value for money, Adam. Where's your value for money? They haven't got that. So now you need accountability. Who's been bringing in these players? Who's the ones that have been doing the scouts are going to watch? Because I think they now do it all on data. They look at the data on who passes the ball here, who runs here. They don't actually go and watch the players anymore. They don't find out about the player and what sort of person they are. Can they come to a club like this? Because I know I've been at Liverpool. When I went to Liverpool, can you handle that pressure? Because I can tell you, I know loads of players that went there who couldn't. They just couldn't handle what Liverpool was about, and I'm sure it's exactly the same here at Manchester United. It's too big a club for them. They can't go out there. I've seen Monday, Friday players, brilliant in training, but come to match day, 3 o'clock or whatever time the kick-off is, oh no, not for me. And that's what you have to look at. You've got to look at the character of the player as well.
I think it's worth pointing out that John Murtaugh and Darren Fletcher came in as technical director and head of football operations about a year and a half ago, just before Ten Hag was appointed. But it was a little bit of a sideways move for John Murtaugh. He was already involved in it, and it was almost as if he deserved the promotion rather than an established football director being brought in. And I think what you're saying is that's the position that needs to be filled. At Aston Villa, they've got Monchi.
Yeah, and it seems to be working. Absolutely seems to be working. Looking forward to this one. It's the final game. Manchester United taking on Aston Villa, and calling you through it live on TalkSport is Ray Houghton and Sam Matterface.
Well, I hope you had a great festive period and you've enjoyed what was a terrific Boxing Day of football on TalkSport, the only place to hear all the Boxing Day games. And we'll have more football for you tomorrow and Thursday as well. Friday night championship action back in the Premier League on Saturday. New Year's Day, we've got Liverpool against Newcastle United. It's all kicking off on TalkSport. All kicking off here as well at Old Trafford. New era, starting with Sir Jim Ratcliffe in charge of football operations today. But on the field, there is a lot of change required. 13 is deemed an unlucky number, but there is nothing unfortunate about Manchester United's current predicament. They have not been hurt by a string of poor decisions or marginal calls. In fact, they've been very lucky that it hasn't been more than 13 defeats this season. Not that Erik ten Hag would agree. It was a good performance, the Manchester United manager said in reference to Saturday's defeat to West Ham United. It was an unfortunate turn of phrase. It was anything but. Manchester United lost more games before Christmas than they have in any of the last 93 years. Only one team in the Premier League have scored fewer goals, and they're bottom of the table. Unlucky? No, they're not good enough. Aston Villa have had moments when fortune has smiled on them, but largely they've made their own luck. 16 Premier League home games unbeaten. On Christmas Day they were third in the Premier League. They have scored more than double the amount of league goals of Manchester United, and when the chips were down on Friday night, they would not be defeated. Not luck, and nor will it be if they record a 13th win of the season here. Here are the two teams, starting with the home team, Mendes and Eriksen in midfield. It's Alejandro Garnacho on the left, Marcus Rashford on the right. Rashford is the man who leads the line. Emi Martinez has got history here. He's the goalkeeper for Aston Villa. Konza, Diego Carlos, Clement Longley and Luca Digne the back four. John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Leander Dendoncker and Jacob Ramsey the midfield quartet. And it's Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey who are up front for the away side. Our referee today is Craig Pawson, the VAR. Let's hope he hasn't got too much work to do. Stuart Atwell, and we're off and underway with every single one of the 22 players taking the knee in a bid to highlight the need for an end to social injustice and a demand for racial equality. Fernandes gets it started. He kicks the ball back to Onana, who launched it through the middle. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks for Manchester United, shooting towards the scoreboard end, away to our right. It's a light blue mismatch from Aston Villa, who are attacking the Stretford end in the first half. The 10 games of Christmas in full swing. Tomorrow, Chelsea and Palace, City at Everton, Thursday night, Arsenal, West Ham, with Marcus Rashford, who tries to move towards the edge of the penalty area, goes back to Fernandes, who swings it down the left. Dalot continues his run. Accusations of offside. The referee has allowed play on here. Fernandes into Mainu, who's just tracked by John McGinn. It's back wide again and fizzed into the box, flicked on by Højlund. It's behind Garnacho. Referee eventually sees the linesman raise his flag on the near side, but it's an offside flag which goes against Garnacho, and it's a free kick inside the box for Aston Villa. Bright start to the game. Here's Ray Houghton.
Yeah, very much so. Manchester United has anticipated, starting at a very quick pace, getting numbers forward. Just looking at how they're going to line up. Garnacho's on the right hand side, Marcus Rashford over on the left. Yeah. But what was interesting is Mainu's just sitting deep, and actually Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes are pushing right up, so they're going to get numbers forward and try to put this back line of Aston Villa under a lot of pressure.
And that's great if you manage to do that and put them under pressure, but the problem comes if you get broken on and you've got fewer numbers behind the ball.
Yeah, well listen, you're at home, you've got to be the aggressors. You know, the noise in the stadium, you can hear that the United fans are certainly behind their team at the moment. It's about retaining ball position, getting good possession of the ball, people wanting it, not hiding, not getting into areas where they can't affect the game. You'll be really looking at the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Christian. Look how far up Christian Eriksen's playing. He's right up nearly alongside Højlund.
Well, he hasn't had enough support, Højlund, in his first few months here at the club, so maybe that's one of the reasons. Manchester United have the ball deep inside their own half. Their goalkeeper is dictating play almost as a third centre half. He's almost been picked off once or twice.
Just there with Onana, though, Rashford just run in behind Konza. It was a great run, and the goalkeeper's not even looking to play it. He wants to play short, and he just wants to, retain possession. Instead of getting his head up and looking a little bit longer downfield, then that's what's happened. He's making those runs, not being spotted by his teammates, and that's where the frustration comes from Rashford.
Dallow's got it on the edge of his own penalty area, back to Onana, who's squeezed by McGinn. He plays it to his right, and Rafa Varane, who's back from illness, gets it into Wan-Bissaka. It wasn't a clean pass from Wan-Bissaka, and they picked it off here with their press. Aston Villa, it's tucked away by Bruno Fernandes, goes down by the corner flag. It's a Manchester United throw deep inside their own half. Manchester United, who have gone now 384 minutes without scoring a goal, a run that dates back to Scott McTominay's strike against Chelsea on the 6th of December. Seems a long time ago now, and a lot of water has flowed down the River Irwell. in that time. Here is Leon Bailey over on the far side, getting towards the edge of the penalty area, turning it back. And it goes back out to the Jamaican, who looks to take on Diogo Dalot on the outside, then goes to the byline, produces a cross which takes a deflection, McGinn into the body of Johnny Evans with a volley which is deflected and cleared away. And Manchester United under a little bit of pressure for the first time in the game, 0-0.
Well, there's where I think Dalot struggles a little bit, where he's playing in the left back position, but he's a natural right-sided player. And as soon as Bailey takes him on, he doesn't want to. He wants to show him inside on his right foot, where he's much more comfortable. Whereas when he takes him down the line, you can see how reluctant he is. And actually, Bailey done well, put it across the face of the goal, but Johnny Evans was in a good position to clear the danger for United.
0-0 the score, and that's the same scoreline at Portman Road. A massive game in the Championship. Ipswich taking on Leicester, top two in that division at the start of the Christmas period. And I suppose Ipswich will still be hoping that that's the case at the end of it as well, after the defeat at the weekend to Leeds United. Was quite a hefty one. That's over on TalkSport 2 at this moment in time, if you fancy that. Here we're bringing you Manchester United against Aston Villa at home in the Premier League. Luca Digne has it on this near side. He moves infield, lays it on to Douglas Luiz, and then it's played back to halfway, where it's collected by Clement Longley, who only made his debut for Aston Villa against Sheffield United on Friday night at home. Watkins is a willing runner in behind the defence. It's a little bit too long. It goes out of play. It's a goal kick, 0-0.
See with Luca Digne, when he goes forward from the left back position, that's where they can pose problems, because Garnacho doesn't want to chase back. His first thought is, I'm going to just hold my position in an advanced position. So when Digne goes into this left back, left wing position, if you like, and Ramsey's there, it's a real problem for Wan-Bissaka, because he's got to defend against two of them. And I'm just looking at Garnacho, and he's pointing at Wan-Bissaka to say, you pick up the pair of them, I'm going to stay up here. And that's where the problem lies for United. He's got to go back as a winger to help out defensively as well.
They've lost the ball on the press as well, and the turnover, and Aston Villa are on the hunt again, and Bailey is dancing down the right hand side into the area with a cross which is steered away by Fernandez. Comes out as far as Højlund, who's bullied and bruised by Diego Carlos, who gives away a free kick just short of the centre circle in the middle of the Manchester United half, and it's a free kick given by Craig Pawson back to Manchester United. But they've got to be really careful about the way they play out from the back as well, because Aston Villa are adept at pressing in numbers, coordinated press, which wins the ball back very well high up inside opposition territory, and they've done that 2 or 3 times in the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, and the other thing is Bailey is a real concern over on that right hand side for Dalot. Dalot comes in as an inverted fullback at times, and as you can see now in the more central position.
Rashford
Johnny Evans over there.
And Onana is looking for it, and Onana is trying to play it to him, but it's a bit behind him. But at least they've decided to spot the run this time.
Yeah, well, I think I've got to do more of that. You've got to try and spread the game. If Villa are going to press high up the pitch, it's going to leave space in behind. And you don't always have to play into midfield or into a centre back as a goalkeeper. There's times when you can hit it further downfield, just a long pass, and he's got the ability to do that. He's a confident enough goalkeeper with the ball at his feet.
Well, one of the problems that Manchester United have had is not really shooting enough. Across the last 4 games, they've only had 8 shots on target, which has been a bit of a worry for them. Rasmus Højlund yet to score in any of his 16 domestic appearances for Manchester United. Here is Luca Digne playing a square ball in a dangerous position. He's given it straight to Eriksson, then Højlund can't get away from Dendoncker, who does well to snuff out the ball from Rasmus Højlund, the Dane, and it's cleared away upfield by Emi Martinez towards Konza. Rashford working back into position to win the ball back for Manchester United momentarily and stop the progression of Aston Villa down the flank. That's going to be important today.
Yeah, absolutely. He will do it a little bit more, I think, than Garnacho. He's a little bit more experienced in that area of the field.
Digne with a cross from the left hand side, deep towards the far post, flicked away by Dalot, who gets up above Bailey and flicks it towards the far touchline. Rashford scurries over, receives it back to the byline, left fullback position. Dalot gives it away straight to McGinn. That was dangerous. McGinn's hemmed in by the corner flag, plays it against Rashford and wins the first corner of the game, and it goes Aston Villa's way. 0-0. We played 7 minutes 45 seconds on TalkSport.
Clever there, wasn't it, from McGinn? He knew he couldn't get his cross into the box, so Rashford was coming to close him down, so he just hit it against him to get the corner. But once again, Dalot should have cleared the ball downfield. He's trying to play in a really tight area with so many Aston Villa players in and around him. There's occasions, Sam, when you've just got to launch the ball downfield, then press up higher up the pitch as a group.
Corner to be taken by McGinn. It's the Villa fans you can hear at Old Trafford as they attack the Stretford end. 8 minutes into the game. It's a short one in towards the near post. It was badly delivered with Douglas Luiz lurking on the edge of the box unmarked. that might have been a better option rather than going towards the near post, and then a bit of a fumble really. Manchester United trying to press here, and they've won the ball back, and Højlund can't control it as it's fizzed to him by Rashford. And it goes all the way back through to Emi Martinez, and an opportunity is missed by the home team.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd, and they're not too happy with Højlund when the ball was played up to him. He was fizzed in from Rashford, but his touch wasn't quite there. He's not started the game as well as he would like. There was an occasion about 5 minutes ago where he should have played Garnacho in. He got turned on it. Garnacho made a good run down the right side, and he wanted to do it on his own, took an extra touch, and then the opportunity had gone because Villa had closed him down.
Good take by Douglas Luiz, and then McGinn using that considerable backside to try and hold on Johnny Evans, but Evans has nabbed it. Out wide to the right it goes. Højlund to Garnacho. He's dispossessed by Clement Longley, and the ball goes back out towards the left fullback position where Digne can look to get it away for Aston Villa. 0-0 the score. Villa, I think, disappointed to lose their winning run at home on Friday night, but haven't lost a game since Bonfire Night, and they've only lost 2 of the last 19 in all competitions. This is a team in good form, full of confidence, and a team that have come here not to defend but to compete, to take the game to Manchester United. Here is Douglas Luiz round the corner looking for Digne. It wasn't a great ball, and it was picked off by Wan-Bissaka, who read it well, nudged it to Garnacho, and now United are in possession. 10 minutes gone on Talk Sport. Remember, tomorrow we've got commentary from 2 Premier League games for you, in fact 3. We've got one on the app as well, and then Crystal Palace away at Stamford Bridge is live on TalkSport 2, and Everton Man City is live on TalkSport at 8:15. Dalot down the left, progressing further up the field now, is challenged by Dendoncker, who manages to tuck it out for a throw-in in the left wing position, and Manchester United have it again. Dalot picks it up down by the corner flag. He whacks across into the box with no real grace, but it comes through to Garnacho, and then Eriksen with a strike on the half volley, right edge of the D. And it goes straight down the throat of Emi Martinez, who just nudges to his left and gathers the ball into his chest, and it remains 0-0, but a first shot on target from Manchester United.
Yeah, technically that's very difficult when it came out to Christian Eriksen to get his strike away. I mean, it's just a long, hopeful ball delivered in from Dalot, which Aston Villa don't deal with particularly well. Digne with a header out, came to Eriksen, hit it first time, but the goalkeeper seen it all the way. Just took a slight deflection off Douglas Luiz en route through to the keeper.
Bailey down the right hand side into the box at the other end, into the 6-yard area, and it's smuggled behind by Johnny Evans, and it's out for another corner. But the speed of that attack and the backing off from Dalot, allowing Bailey to once again create a half opportunity for Aston Villa, will be of concern to Erik ten Hag.
You've got to keep giving him the ball at the moment, because he's the outball for you, isn't he? Bailey over on this right hand side, he's got the beat. Dalot has proved that on 2 or 3 occasions.
Steffi Mavididi scores for Leicester away at Ipswich on TalkSport 2 as the ball comes in towards the near post, and the goalkeeper looks as if he was going to be beaten in the air there. He wasn't. He gets it clear. Digne back into the box again. Dalot away, drops on the edge of the United penalty area for Bailey. They can't get this clear, Manchester United. It's smacked high into the night sky and gets lost under the floodlights momentarily. A flick by Rashford, but there's no clearance on it, and it's back with Bailey once again, and Aston Villa have Manchester United hemmed inside their own half.
What a ball that was into the box as well. I thought Dendoncker was favourite to get his head on it.
McGinn trying to take on Dalot, who crunches into a challenge. It repels to the far touchline, and Rashford picks it up. Now there's a chance to release Højlund, but McGinn has got back, and he's done his damage. The referee has said it was a foul on Fernandes by John McGinn, just short of the centre circle left side as Manchester United look at it, and then a quick free kick is taken. Unai Emery's not happy about Villa not being set. Rashford coming in on his right foot, back heel down the line towards Fernandes, and Diego Carlos takes charge ahead of his goalkeeper and says, I'll deal with that. Then Konza slaloms infield. Douglas Luiz takes the ball wide to the right fullback position, and then Leon Bailey plays it back to Diego Carlos, and Aston Villa rather expertly play their way out of trouble.
That's lovely football, isn't it? And there's the calmness about their general play at the moment, whereas if you look at Manchester United, Rashford done great. I mean, he's a right footer playing on the left. He comes in field, he sees the run of Bruno Fernandes, and he could have actually just played it with his right foot. He tried to be, I thought, a little bit too clever with the back heel, trying to play Fernandes in, and it didn't quite come off. That's just that final moment, that final pass isn't quite there. But I tell you what, you can see it's a bit end to end.
Small margins, is that what you're saying? Well, Sir Dave Brailsford deals in those, doesn't he? From what I remember. Ball cleared away over on the far side, away by Diego Carlos. Aston Villa have it inside their own half, and it's with Ezri Konza, who takes it down the right touchline. It goes out of play this time, and away for a throw-in to Manchester United far side. 14 minutes gone. It is 0-0. Kobbie Mainoo just doing up his shoelaces in the middle of the park.
Good pressing there from United, though. If you looked at where the shape of the team was, they were running the ball back, putting Villa under pressure. There was a coming together with Dalot and one of the Villa players. I don't think there was a great deal in it. Dalot went over, but the referee didn't do anything about it.
We're back underway. I know Kobbie Mainoo is only a young lad, but he should be able to do his shoelaces up a little bit faster than that, shouldn't he? Ball is from the far side. You know what? That's the problem with Velcro, Ray, these days. It's just too ubiquitous.
I didn't think you had laces anymore with these new boots. They're perfect, aren't they? Pitches are unbelievable. I was at Anfield the other evening for the game against Arsenal. I never played in Anfield like that. That pitch was as good as you've ever seen it.
14 minutes gone here on a beautiful manicured playing surface at Old Trafford. That's one thing you can't fault about this stadium. Flick forward by Longley, and Jacob Ramsey's in behind Wan-Bissaka here. He's trying to get back at him and just about does, and then manages to just backheel the ball into the path of Rafael Varane, who strokes it forward. But the worrying prospect was him getting in behind in the first place. United have gone forward. Garnacho has picked it up. He's running clear towards the edge of the area. It's left by Eriksen, and he's left it for Rashford, who continued his run. It went behind him. Fernandes, edge of the D, flicks it into the box. Eriksen's not going to get there. Out comes Emi Martinez on the penalty spot.
Oh, brilliant
to smother
break.
the ball.
Brilliant break with real... The game's really opening up with them on end-to-end stuff from both sides. Garnacho done really well. He's played it back into the path of Eriksen, who should have played it first time into Rashford. I think he just miscontrolled it.
Ramsey on the other side tries to come up left-footed into the box. He turns and fires it to the edge of the area. Bailey's shot is repelled right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Douglas Luiz takes over, and he sends it wide to Jacob Ramsey once again. 15 minutes played at Old Trafford. It's been an entertaining encounter so far. No goals yet. We're awaiting the deadlock to be broken. Unai Emery still dancing around on the touchline, encouraging his team as they come forward down the left once more. McGinn out wide towards Ramsey. Ball into the box is steered away by Mainoo. Won by McGinn once again. Smuggled clear by Manchester United. And there's a confidence about Aston Villa. But Manchester United looking as if they've got a little bit more punch going forward and speed in the transition. The key is, can they maintain that? So often in games they've started okay, hit a sucker punch, and then ended up, as a result, wilting. Another ball forward looking for the run of Rashford. Again it was intercepted by Konza. Again they come down the left, and the man who's got lots of open play crosses this season, Luca Digne, he's been a vital cog in their wheel, goes on the outside of Wan-Bissaka, plays it against him, wins a corner near side. It's out for another chance for Aston Villa to send the ball into the box.
You could see Wan-Bissaka just looking around, where's my support, who's going to help me? Because where his problem is Ramsey's playing over on this left hand side, so when he goes in field he's duty bound to go with him until one of the centre half say pass him on, I'm okay, I can take care of it, you stay in your position, and then look for Digne coming forward from the left back position. But Garnacho's a worry. He's a real worry at the moment because he doesn't see the danger and he's letting people run in behind him, and they're getting 2v1 situations, Villa, down this left.
Corner to be taken by Douglas Luiz, who is a danger from set pieces. Right-footed in towards the near post, flicks away by Eriksen. No real challenge there because it was a little bit too flat and easy to deal with by Manchester United. Smashed back towards Douglas Luiz brilliantly by Bailey, and then McGinn tries to backheel it into Douglas Luiz's path down the left channel, but it's cut out by Wan-Bissaka and Fernandes, and Manchester United look to bring it clear deep inside their own territory. Eyes darting everywhere like an owl. Eriksen, he's given the ball to Dalot, he's given it straight back to Bailey, and Bailey's raced into the penalty area, and only Johnny Evans can stop the Jamaican from sprinting past him. That was a real error from Diogo Dalot, and then Johnny Evans has gone charging up the field. No one went with him, and he had to turn around and give the ball back. Ball over the top for Rashford to chase. Here comes Emi Martinez, and he gets out ahead of the England international and nods the ball out into the right fullback position before Rashford can engage.
Well, a couple of things there. One, the flag didn't go up because straight away the Villa players looked over to the assistant referee in the near side here, and he shook his head if they say no, he was onside. But that's the ball they've got to play. But starting position from Martinez, the goalkeeper, absolutely exceptional, and that's what goalkeepers have to do when you play a high line. Anything over the top, you've got to be first onto it, and that was certainly the case there.
Yeah, they're brilliant at playing that high line, and again, we talked about marginal gains in a sort of tongue-in-cheek way, but it's dangerous. But when they pull it off well. They prevent quite a lot of goals that way.
See, let's look at Digne's starting position. So Wan-Bissaka doesn't know where to go. Garnacho's now gone into where Ramsey is. He doesn't want to be in that position, the young winger. He'll leave him. They'll get in.
There he is, flicked over the top by Watkins, into Ramsey, in the left full-back position, across comes Mainu, back to Ramsey, delivers across into the box, half cleared by Varane, drops on the edge of the area, flicked away by Fernandes, but you predicted that before it even happened. It was so obvious it was going to, and Alejandro Garnacho is turning around looking at the bench saying, well, what am I supposed to do?
That's on all the time, it really is, and it's so obvious. I mean, this is where you have a little bit, I know he's young, he's 19, you were saying, Sam, but you've got to have a little bit more awareness about you. Even though he wants to go ahead of Digne. You know, he in his mind is, look, if I go in there's space for me to run into, and then I can affect that game. He's not thinking about the defensive side of things. He's not even thought about it.
Ball on the right side. Leon Bailey trying to get into an advanced position over on the right, and Ray's got so excited and so energised about the fact that Garnacho's not tracking back. He's knocked his notes all over the floor. From far touchline into McGinn. McGinn trying to turn. He plays it back towards the byline on the far side, and then it's one back again. Manchester United giving the ball away so cheaply when they should have been able to escape there. It's played against Rashford, out for a throw, down by the corner flag. It remains 0-0. Aston Villa coming forward here. 20 minutes played. Erik ten Hag still on the right on the cusp of his technical area. In fact, maybe a shoe lengths over that, left of the halfway line. Unai Emery just saying to everyone, calm down, as a tackle.
Yeah, Dendonker's gone over there. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Bruno went in with a challenge. I think he's trying to suggest that he had studs up and caught him in the stomach region. I mean, we're a good 100 yards away from it, but he just looked like he went for the ball. His foot was high, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, his foot was high, and it sort of flicked into his chest, didn't it, really?
Yeah, but not a lot. I mean, a lot of force in it. You know, I mean, not enough to put someone like Dendonker over.
Contact with consequence?
You were telling me about that before we came up for the game, and yeah, I've learnt something new today again.
21 minutes gone, Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Free kick over on the far side, a yard in from the touchline, level with the edge of the penalty area. There is 5 to aim at inside the box, 2 on the edge, and Watkins has just peeled away actually from the group just to give himself a chance to run towards the delivery. Manchester United with 8 players inside the penalty area, detailing the middle of that box, and Eriksen a bit further away. Garnacho even further on, and there's a player right on the goalkeeper, behind the goalkeeper here.
It's Bailey, isn't it? Yeah.
Leon Bailey. Ramsey's made a run. It's in towards the near post. It's flicked towards goal and helped in by Diego Carlos. Dendonker may well have got the final touch, and Leander Dendonker is taking the acclaim. Manchester United befuddled and confused. They believe that there should be an offside flag up against the Jamaican Leon Bailey, but whether it got a touch off Dendonker or whether it sailed all the way in, Andre Onana feels he was impeded, and Manchester United are protesting. Aston Villa are celebrating. They think they've taken the lead.
I think it's John McGinn who took the free kick. No one touched it. I just think it was such a good ball, and everyone was inside that 6-yard box. No one's really taking control. I really want to see my goalkeeper coming, collecting it, coming out there and be dominant. He can come out with his hands. I'm looking at the starting positions. Is there an offside decision here? Certainly, there's no question that where Bailey was, I don't think anyone's got touch on it. Dendonker's running off. If he did get the merest of flicks on, I don't think he did. Watkins was
putting his hand up.
I don't think he touched either, Sam. I think this has just gone straight in, all the way in. I don't think anyone got a touch on it, and the keeper can't react.
Dendonker, Diego Carlos and Ollie Watkins all very close to it. Diego Carlos was the closest to it, I think.
And John McGinn's claiming it, though. I can assure you.
Well, John McGinn's in my fantasy team, so he can have it. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 1, and they're still reviewing this just to make sure that it is okay. Was there any foul in the build-up? Was there any offside decision that you wouldn't be happy with?
Well, it's just the starting position of Leon Bailey on the goalkeeper.
Does he prevent Andre Onana from playing that ball? If you look at what he does, VAR have checked it, and I think they've given the goal. Yeah, they have. They've given the goal, because if you look what Bailey does, he starts behind Onana, and all he does is just run away. He runs right out the way.
But if you look where the goalkeeper's ended up, Sam, he's not commanding his 18-yard box. When that's delivered in there, I want him to come through bodies and push people out of the way and win it. Show how that he's the leader in there. He can come out with his hands and get higher than anyone else. It was a brilliant ball in fairness. I mean, McGinn's put it into a really good area, but he's inside the 6-yard box. You know, there were so many bodies inside the 6-yard box. Where's the keeper? He's rooted.
Well, this is bad news for Manchester United because they're behind at home to Aston Villa, a team that do not relinquish leads. They are the only side in the Premier League with a 100% winning record when they've taken the lead this season.
Well, there's a little ball there from Bruno Fernandes to play down the channel for Højlund to run in. He's not even looking. They're not on the same wavelength in the last few minutes. And I feel sorry for the young lad up front. I said before, I think he needs real support. Look, you watch him, Sam. He'll run from side to side. You know, he's got good attitude. But when the ball comes up to him, he's not responsible enough to hold on to it. He needs people in and around him. And the midfielders aren't getting up there quick enough to do that.
You're listening to Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 1 on Talk Sport with Now. And don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. And they're still singing Diego, 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 the Aston Villa supporters, but
they'll find out soon
enough that John McGinn initially has been credited with the goal. They were all piling in at the near post, and Manchester United, looking back at that goal, will be disappointed that none of them got anywhere near, all three of them steaming in.
Yeah, but remember where the free kick came from. You know, Bruno Fernandes making a challenge on Dendoncker. We probably didn't need to do it. You know, you're going there if you're trying to win the ball, but just dangled his leg there and gave away the free kick.
Here's Luca Digne once again in behind Garnacho, stops the ball, comes infield, gives it to Jacob Ramsey, who's just drifted in an inside left position in the middle of the park. Luis plays it to Longley, he strides forward, then left-footed, crosses the ball towards the far side where it's taken down elegantly by Bailey, who takes on Dallow, fancies his chances against him, he's gone beyond him, and then a slide tackle pokes the ball out of play and away for another corner to Aston Villa, who have dominated the corner count, the shot count so far.
He's up for it, isn't he, Bailey? He really is playing well at the moment. There's a confidence about him. They want to get the ball out to him as often as they can. I mean, listen, they can use both sides of the field. Digne's getting forward from the left-back position. You've got Ramsey, who's going in field, which is attracting Wan-Bissaka, and it's leaving a lot of space for him. Villa, as you can hear from the away fans at the moment, absolutely delighted with the start to the game.
Here's the corner towards the far post, heading down and into its own net, and Manchester United have conceded again in double quick time. Clement Longley from the delivery heads the ball down. I think it then comes off Dendoncker, who sticks out his right foot and pokes it beyond Onana, and it's a 2-goal lead for Aston Villa. 27 minutes on the clock, and Manchester United are in real bother.
Well, what a ball in, firstly, but where's the marking? You know, look at Longley, one of the best heads of the ball in the Aston Villa team, and no one's anywhere near them. I know sometimes you pick up, it's all about positional play rather than going man-to-man marking, but Longley's free as you like at the back post, headed across the 6-yard box, and then Dendoncker with no one around him, absolutely no one around him. I've just tried to say, I think it was Mainu, the young kid, who was actually picking him up initially, and he got blocked off. And then there's Longley with the header at the back, but still 1, 2, 3, 6 red shirts inside the 6-yard box, and not one of them has got close to Dendoncker. Not one.
I mean, that's two bits of criminal defending from Manchester United that have been their undoing. It is Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 2. You're getting sacked in the morning is the cry from the Aston Villa supporters. And the worst thing about this is, I just said to you, Ray, they've been a bright start, Manchester United. There's been a couple of bit of enterprising play, but can they sustain it throughout the game? They suffered a setback and they wilted.
Yeah, but there's a naivety about them and the way that they're playing, the youngsters in the team.
It's been happening too much this season.
Too many games, Sam. You've been watching them. You know, we said, where's the identity with Manchester United? Yeah, they started reasonably well. He's offside. He's about 5 yards offside here, Eriksson.
Eriksson's gone in behind the defence. He's pulled it through the box. It's away by Konza. Now the flag has gone up, and you're right, there will be a free kick. But this is something that's haunted Manchester United all season. I mean, look, we've talked about the lack of goals. You wonder whether or not Manchester United were going to be able to expose that high line. They did it last year against Aston Villa here, time and time again. They've had, one decent chance on target in the opening 28 minutes of the game. And they've been waiting to concede in the match since it started for me. And I do think that they've got a real problem here.
Well, Bailey's been the one for me over on that right-hand side, who's taking the game to Dallow, and Dallow's just got no answers to the way that Bailey's played. He's been a constant threat. He's taken them on 1v1 situations. He's got, corners. You talked about the corner kicks that Aston Villa have had. They've looked threatening, and so there are 2 set plays. One for a free kick they scored because no one attacks the ball. Second one, the youngster Mainu is picking up one of the best headers of the ball for Aston Villa and Longley, and he gets blocked off because he's naive. He doesn't see him. He doesn't get hold of him. He's not getting tight enough to him. He allows him to get away from him. Free header, and then who's picking up Dendonka inside the 6-yard box, all on his own. There's 6 red shirts there, no one's picking up. And that comes down to, is it the manager that's showing them on the training pitch where they should be, or it's actually players taking responsibility on the pitch?
John McGinnis has taken another free kick from the halfway line. This time they've managed to deal with that. It's gone back out wide towards this left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka jumps into the air. The good news is, if you're an Aston Villa fan, they only need to score 5 more goals to go top. Here is Longley being pursued down the touchline. Now, a 7-goal win will see Aston Villa go above Liverpool.
Well, just to our right-hand side is where the away supporters are, the Aston Villa fans. They're in dreamland at the moment. They had an indifferent performance against Sheffield United, scored late to get a point in that game. But in fairness to them, they've started this game really well. United had a little spell where they were on top, but without really posing too many problems as far as goal scoring opportunities are concerned. But fair play to Aston Villa. They just look like they're a bit more steel about them, a bit more belief about them, a bit more confidence about them, and that's why they find themselves 2-0 up at the moment.
Right, there was a passage of play, and we described it earlier on, after about, I think, 15-20 minutes, where under a little bit of pressure they played out from the back beautifully, but with calmness and composure. And that is the difference between these two teams. Over the top, the ball goes towards Fernandes, who does beat the high line, then turns and shoots and gets it wrong and sends it wide of the right hand upright. He was the one who scored, actually, in the game between the two, the only goal last season. Now, he's missed the target by some distance there.
Well, you said about when they played last season, how many times they broke through.
Yeah.
The back line of Aston Villa were playing a little bit too high. There is a perfect example. Bruno Fernandes running from deep. It was a right tight call. And maybe just Konza was playing him on from that right back position. The flag didn't go up, but then he was looking round at the assistant for the flag rather than really taking the shot on and being confident with it. And you can see he cut across it and went well wide of the target.
It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 2. Here comes Fernandes, edge of the box to Rashford, inside the area, right-footed shot, down low to the goalkeeper's left. It's saved by Emi Martinez, who wants to take the sting out of things. The latest odds from Betfair right now, you can get Manchester United to come back, win the game at 10-1. You can back Aston Villa to win the match at 9-2 on. You can back the draw at 12-1. Don't forget that Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds, 90-minute markets, or markets with the 90 icon, 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, just to say the last few minutes has been better from United. They've had 2 opportunities, haven't they? The chance for Bruno Fernandes when he scuffed it wide of the target, and there Rashford coming in from that left-hand side. At least he troubled the goalkeeper with a strike on target. But they need a lot more than that to get this home support behind them.
Well, they're not infallible, Aston Villa. They do concede goals as well as score them, but their last few scorelines have been a little bit binary. The goals were flowing at the beginning of the season. But here come Manchester United in behind again. Garnacho into the area, tries to square it for the 6-yard box. He's missed Højlund, too far ahead of him, and it goes out on the other side, and Manchester United once again recycle it. Missed opportunity number 3 for Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund, who's missed more big chances than any other player in the Premier League this season, may well have been guilty again. Ball sent forward, and now there's an issue on the counter-attack. Garnacho has been fouled. They're pulling it back here. Craig Pawson giving a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, I think it was Digne with the challenge, wasn't it? Just mistimed it. Just about 5 yards or so outside the 18-yard box, because there was a break on for Aston Villa. There was a 2v1 situation over on the right-hand side. But I wouldn't blame Højlund for that last passage of play. I think Garnacho just hit it too hard across the pitch.
Garnacho he's having a right go at Højlund.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think personally Garnacho just hit it too hard. If I was Garnacho, I would have shot, because if you look to the position of the goalkeeper Martinez, he actually goes across. He's going across. I think it's too much pace on that from the youngster, and it's always angling away from Højlund. It's not one of them. It's coming back towards the striker. It was going away from him. Just too much on the ball from the young winger.
We played 33 minutes. It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 2. Live on Talk Sport. Christian Eriksen presiding over this free kick that was given away by Luca Digne. It's around about 7 yards outside the box, so 25 yards from goal on this right-hand side. There's a two-man Aston Villa wall. Eriksen, I think, will just try and drop this in behind the defence and hope that Varane or Rashford or maybe even Højlund can get on the end of it. Fernandez's starting position is right in front of the goalkeeper. And he now moves away as the ball goes in right. It's gone straight towards goal, and it's hit the wall, hit the face of the first man, Jacob Ramsey. And then Eriksen has fallen to the floor, and then he's slid across the turf and just about got it back towards Wan-Bissaka, and we're with Onana in the D at the other end of the field.
You just wonder how fit Eriksen is. You know, he's not had a lot of game time as he's been in and out of the team this season.
Well, his first appearance for about a month and a bit was on Saturday when he played 5 minutes off the bench against West Ham.
It's a big gamble, isn't it? I mean, you know the quality he's got. He always wants the ball. He's got good vision, good awareness. But there, he's just falling over with no one around him. And that just comes down to, I would say, he's just not quite fit enough at the moment. And then some huge gamble by the manager to put him into such an important game where United need to win and they need to get a goal. I mean, we said not scored in 5 of the last 6 matches that they've played in.
It's a long time now, isn't it? It's 415 minutes since the last time they scored a goal. Imagine what Christmas movies you can watch in that time frame. Here's Højlund inside the box, loses sight of it once again, but brings it down and nudges it back to Rashford, who shoots, pushed away by Martinez, picked up by Dendoncker. Villa just having to weather a bit of a Manchester United storm. They have responded to going 2 goals down, but Emi Martinez has made a couple of good saves and they've missed opportunities as well. And as a result, it's still 2-0. But they're playing out once again here, Villa, scooping the ball forward. It wasn't a great clearance, and Eriksen's got it back. Now Kobbie Mainoo across to Johnny Evans, and Manchester United just go back to the halfway line and all the way back to their goalkeeper.
I don't understand why Aston Villa have had so much joy getting the ball out wide and quickly.
Another ball over the top. Diego Dalot is in behind this time, but Diego Carlos comes across. It's a brilliant challenge from Diego Carlos, who watched it all the way, dived in, scooped the ball out, goes out for a corner.
That's about 5 times that Manchester United have just put a straight ball over the top, and they've got in behind this back line of Aston Villa. Aston Villa they're just getting 4 players in the line. No one's dropping off. They're not, looking for that ball over the top and dropping off a little bit and anticipating the ball that's going to be played.
That's the way they do it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it might be, but it might be costly. Just looking there, he's well offside. I thought he was initially.
Yeah,
not spotted back.
They've won a corner out of this, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But because VAR doesn't get involved in these situations, that was actually they shouldn't have a corner here.
No, they shouldn't. No, I mean the assistants on occasion put his flag up.
Here is Fernandez with the corner in towards the near post. It's then headed down and then cleared away by Luca Digne up over the halfway line, and Onana, who's on the halfway line, has it on his chest. 37 gone, it's 2-0. Bright start to the game from both teams. Manchester United rarely tested Emi Martinez, and then 2 set-piece goals from Aston Villa have changed the complexion of the game. And Sir Dave Brailsford, who is up in the director's box watching on, is probably getting a little bit more and more irritated. That to-do list that he's got for Manchester United is getting longer and longer and longer. Jacob Ramsey's got an issue here. He's gone down inside the box, the right side of it, and it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, another offside decision though. I mean, they'll just try to push on a little bit too early, the Manchester United players. At least 3 or 4 of them in an offside, looked in an offside position.
Aston Villa are experts though at timing their movements right and making sure they are in the right position.
Yeah, well, listen, I wouldn't disagree with that, but as an attacking player, you don't have to run early. You've got to watch when he's going to play the ball, and then you move in relation to the person that's kicking the ball. You just don't run because you fancy it. You've got to look at the players on the ball and say, he's ready to kick it, I'm going to go. It's that simple. It's not very difficult, I can assure you.
We're going to give Sir Dave Brailsford Ray Houghton's number, by the way, before the end of the programme, because we think it's probably quite likely that he could inject a little bit of enthusiasm into Manchester United's team talks. The 2 number 17s collide just left of the 18-yard box. Alejandro Garnacho was all arms and legs as he was wrapping himself around Clement Longley and trying to dispossess the Frenchman. A free kick has been given.
I love watching Emma in his technical area, always encouraging his players. I mean, he's not looking at the defenders at the moment, he's not worried about them. He keeps looking at his strikers. He's looking at John McGinn, he's looking at Watkins, he's looking at Bailey, he's trying to get them to move into positions to affect the game for them.
Rashford with a bit of quality to take the ball out of the sky and then move it into Højlund. It goes wide towards the left, and Diogo Dalot. 7 minutes to go before the end of the first half. The ball goes into the box, and Emi Martinez has got it in his hands, and then Rasmus Højlund arrives.
How good is the goalkeeper? You know, this is like, when you want to watch a goalkeeper who supremely confident but dictates his 18-yard box. You know, he comes out when he needs to help out defensively, but there, ball delivered in, and it wasn't the best of crosses, but he wasn't standing on his line, he wasn't waiting for his defenders to deal with it. He came out, collects it, diffuses it, everything.
Yeah, I don't think I would agree with Unai Emery, though, who described him about 10 days ago as sensible and mature. I think we've seen evidence to the contrary over the last 12 or so months about that. But listen, as a goalkeeper, he's been fantastic.
He's been absolutely fantastic. What a signing he's been for
Yeah, he's
Villa.
been brilliant. And he always had the confidence that he could do it, by the way. I remember speaking to him after the FA Cup final, which he won in goal for Arsenal when Mikel Arteta was the manager there. And he said on that day that he would be, basically he said he would be leaving and going to be a number one in the Premier League because he knew he could do it. And off he went, and he has. And he's now the World Cup goalkeeper for Argentina as well, as another offside goes against Manchester United. Villa get it clear, but they're pulling it back for the free kick. Took a while for the referee to intervene, but again, offside against Rashford this time.
Yeah, it was. They held the line well there. I mean, they're quite deep as well, Aston Villa, but they held the line, allowed Rashford to move into an offside position. But that was better for United, simply why? Because they weren't taking too many touches on the ball, 1 and 2 touch, and that'll open up the spaces for you. On that occasion, Rashford went a little bit too early to get in behind the back line of Villa.
2-0 here, 1-0 to Leicester City in the Championship. It's half-time, and that game kicks off at 7:45 tonight over on Talk Sport 2. And it's Steffi Mavadidi's goal that separates the two teams at the top of the Championship. Vying all season, those two have been 1 and 2. And Leicester City looking for another victory. They've been terrific, and even when they haven't been terrific, they've been pulling out of the fire. I did their game a few weeks ago at the beginning of the month against West Bromwich Albion, and they just have something about them. They've got a lot of Premier League quality. I'm not necessarily sure that throw-in from the far side was of Premier League quality, and Onana was panicking because Watkins was bearing down on him, hunting the ball. They just about got away with it, and there's been a couple of occasions where that has been the case, as Mainu then squeezes the ball to the right, and Rafael Varane. Wan-Bissaka, bit of a gap to play it into Fernandes, who plays it behind Garnacho into the right wing position. They come forward towards the corner flag on the right. Here Manchester United, then going across the 18-yard line, and then out the other side is Garnacho. Fernandes, who delivers a right wing cross, which is headed away and then back in by Mainu, up into the air by Dalot, and then Rashford on the far touchline gets hold of it, but his touch is heavy. He lays the ball in towards Eriksen. Dendoncker is there to intervene, and Aston Villa win it back with Leon Bailey over on the far side.
Look at the numbers, Sam, that they get round the ball, though, Villa. It's exceptional, and this is what they work on daily.
Eriksen for Manchester United in the dead centre of the Aston Villa half. He plays it to Garnacho, who tries to nudge it through towards Rashford, who made a half-decent run. It's just a little bit too heavy, and it's gobbled up by Emi Martinez. And I think Emi Martinez and his Aston Villa teammates would like to get to the half-time whistle, because since they scored their second goal, there has been just a modicum of Manchester United pressure.
Yeah, there has been. You know, there's a bit more confidence about United's play. Rashford was offside again. I don't think that ball was ever on to play. It was too tight. So many numbers there for Aston Villa. Cons has done really well from this right-back position as well.
He's poked it now out towards Leon Bailey, who's high up on the right-hand side for Villa. He's got it back onto his left foot. He's chipped the ball crossfield towards Digne, who's headed it back into the box. Found Ramsey, got it back again. Another cross from Digne. It's flicked on. John McGinn's at the far post. Could have teed it up for Konsa. Now has. Konsa's gone past Eriksen. He struck the ball into the body of Varane, and it's bounced out towards the far side, and it remains 2-0 to Aston Villa.
Well, there's the confidence from Villa, pushing so many men into advanced position. Konsa made a really good run from the right full-back position. Just stayed up there. You know, he wasn't trying to get back to help out defensively. He stayed up there and made an extra body for Aston Villa. But Bailey's the one. He's been brilliant over that right-hand side. He's got the beating of Dalot, and they need to get the ball out there as often as possible. They'll create so many more chances that way, Villa.
2-0 to Aston Villa, who can go level on points with Liverpool at the top of the Premier League with a victory here. Ball dripped towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Across goes Varane. He gets it back to Onana, who casually plays it out to Garnacho. Manchester United do manage to play out from the back. Wan-Bissaka into Mainu, back to Varane. They're still deep inside their own half, and Onana eventually decides he's going to kick clear, and Clement Longley gets there ahead of Højlund, who wasn't strong enough.
Just a little thing there with Ollie Watkins. You know, he's not getting a lot of possession of the ball, but his work ethic here is tremendous. He chased down 2 United players and the goalkeeper to force them into the mistake where Longley winning the ball when it was eventually played downfield. The little things, you know, you don't always look at it, but much needed in a team like Aston Villa when they're playing this way.
Rashford's got it left side, trying to run at Konza. He goes on the outside, then on the inside, back on the outside again, a left-footed shot. This is the target.
Oh, he's got to go across the goalkeeper. I think he's trying to catch him out with the near post. But that's Rashford at his best 1v1. Konza knows he's got the pace to get beyond him. Can't do a lot about it as he took the shot on there. Rashford said he's going across the keeper towards the far post. He's trying to catch him out the near, but didn't get enough on the strike.
Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 2. On TalkSport with Enterprise Rent a Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps you and over 120,000 people every day. Later on, we've got Jason Cundy on the Sports Bar alongside Jermaine Pennant. That's from 10 o'clock tonight. We'll have interviews with Erik ten Hag and with Aston Villa boss Unai Emery as well. In the Sports Bar from 10 o'clock tonight, I'll be in the tunnel. And there's some big questions to ask Erik ten Hag if it stays like this. 14th defeat of the season. That's what's incoming. They're trailing by 2-0, and they haven't scored again, and that's becoming a real problem for them. It's been a long time since they didn't score in 5 consecutive games. 1978 was the last time they lost at home on Boxing Day.
So there's a little bit of naivety there from Højlund. Ball played over the top. Konza's under pressure. You know, he wants to feel contact to go over to get the free kick. They just barge you straight into the back of them. That's a youngster. That's what I would call a young person's challenge. Instead of saying, OK, I'm going to make sure you can't turn out. I've got you in the corner here. What are you going to do to play yourself out of this situation? You're going to play it out for a throw and then we're going to have possession? Nothing, because you're just, you know, needlessly gone in and made the challenge that you have to give away the free kick.
4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half to play here at Old Trafford on a mild night, Boxing Day. And Manchester United, who have had moments in the match, find themselves 2-0 down to Aston Villa. 2 set-piece goals, one that didn't get touched, and McGinn went away and celebrated, even though Diego Carlos was claiming a touch initially, and then Dendoncker did the same, and then a little flick from Dendoncker as the ball was centred back from Longley from another McGinn delivery, and it's Aston Villa who have got a 2-goal lead. But Garnacho has been played in behind here, and he's racing away. Diego Carlos has gone with him, and he's hit the side netting, and again it wouldn't have counted because again the flag has gone up.
My flag went up about 5 seconds before the assist. I know they have to win, but you can tell straight away he's in an offside position. But that's the way forward for United. Villa are playing so high, there's so much space in behind. It's the timing of the run. You don't have to go as early as some of the United players are. You know, they're just seeing the space and they're running. You know, you can see Garnacho.
Rashford and Garnacho are so far offside.
Yeah, they're not looking at when the player's playing the ball. They're just seeing the space and running into it. That's what you want. You have one eye on the player playing it, wait, anticipate, look across the line, and then you can go.
How dangerous is this for Erik ten Hag? Because there's no doubt now that he has almost got to go in search of trying to get back into this game. Doing that will leave him open at the other end.
Well, you got to gamble. You're at home. The home support want you to show some invention when you're in possession of the ball.
Well, I haven't had much of that so far. Garnacho has just been fouled. There's going to be a yellow card here. And it was a challenge which Garnacho received from Jacob Ramsey from the wrong side. They were going to play the advantage initially, but Højlund's pass back into midfield was a poor one as a result of that.
Did you see Højlund straight away? Shoulders shrunk, head down, hands are onto him. You know, they know when someone's having a bad time, and he is at the moment. You know, it's not from the fact he's not running around, he is. But it's just when the ball comes into him, he's not holding on to it, he's not making the right runs at the right time. His confidence is extremely low at the moment, and that's something the manager has to look at. And at half-time, I'm expecting him to, have a word with the player, just say to him, get it and give it easy. But loads of players are going through the same moments as a youngster. It is just getting it and giving it simple. Don't overcomplicate your game.
Well, there's Santa standing behind the goal away to our right-hand side. His sack is as empty as Manchester United scoring at this moment in time. Here is the ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box from Diego Dallo. Again, an offside flag is up.
once again, Bruno's complaining that the ball didn't come in early enough, but once you look across the line, it's very, very simple. That's too many occasions in this first half that Manchester United have been caught offside.
Too many times Manchester United have gone early. Too many times Manchester United have been outwitted by Aston Villa's line. Too many times they've been undone by Aston Villa from set pieces, and they find themselves 2 goals behind here live on TalkSport tonight. We've got all of the Boxing Day commentaries. We've had all of them so far. We've got at least another 4 more to bring you. And we've got, that doesn't include the games from the Championship. We will do that throughout the course of the week as well. There's still one ongoing over on TalkSport 2 at this moment in time. And the second half of that game between Ipswich and Leicester is about to get underway on TalkSport 2. We're coming to the conclusion of the first half here. Anana's just kicked the ball out of play over on the far side. Another sign of a team that are just lacking in a little bit of confidence. Diogo Dalot missed it. It's thrown into McGinn, picked up by Bailey, but then Dalot comes across before he can get on it and clears it away to halfway. Højlund back into Fernandes. Fernandes up towards halfway again, waits to delays and then plays the ball forward. Højlund mustn't chase it. He's so far off, frightening. And Diego Carlo whistle. And there's the reaction of the Manchester United fans at half-time. Aston Villa are 10 matches unbeaten in all competitions, and Manchester United are finding out why. It's 426 minutes of football without a goal now for the Old Trafford club, who don't look capable really of mounting the sort of comeback that would be required for them to come back and win this game. John McGinn and Leandro Dendoncker are the 2 goal scorers at Old Trafford. Manchester United haven't seen a goal scored by
away from home here at Old Trafford by 2-0. Ray Houghton, wow, what do we make of that?
I think first of all, Adam, all the credit has to go to Villa.
Absolutely.
I think they came with a great game plan. They're a confident side. There's a reason why they're in the position they are in the league, and it comes down to the manager for me. The manager dictates how this team plays. They are gambling a little bit defensively with the high line that they play because they're leaving a lot of space. But Manchester United are so eager to run in there, they're getting caught offside time and time again, and it's a bit naive. It's not a bit
sloppy.
naive. It's very
sloppy,
naive.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's very naive. But Villa on the counter-attack and the way that they pass their way through the thirds. Bailey on the right has been exceptional. He looks a threat every time he picks up. I mentioned about Digne when he comes forward with Ramsey. He's a problem for Garnacho because he's not a natural defensive player. He doesn't see the danger, and that's where Wan-Bissaka really should be talking to him a lot more, communicating, saying, like, if I go inside with Ramsey, you've got to go all the way back with Digne, not halfway, all the way back until I release you. These are the little things that are happening in the Manchester United side that are posing problems, giving away needless free kicks in corners, which led to the 2 goals, because inside that 18-yard box they're not commanding, they're not taking charge of the situations, and they've allowed Villa to get on top from that point of view. But Villa have been a well-drilled, well-organised side so far.
Absolutely, and as you've just been pointing out there regarding the naivety of the offside trap that they just keep getting caught in, there's a lot of naivety about the defending as well. I mean, the 2 goals, so sloppy from set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Longley was being picked up by Mainu, the young kid, and I don't think that's particularly sensible to do that. You want to get one of the best head of the balls on to Longley. He's one of the best in the Aston Villa side, and he gets free, and he just got blocked off because he's a bit naive. You're not getting touch tight. You've got to know where your person you're marking is, and once he moves, you're on the move with him. You don't look at the ball and then turn around and then run into the group that was there, and that's where he got caught out. And then Dendoncker, I don't know who was picking him up, but he's inside the 6-yard box with 6 red shirts inside the 6-yard box. Not one of them picking him up. He's in the central position. You've got to pick up men. You've got to pick up the players that are in there. I've said it before, Space has never scored a goal yet. Get into the players that are in there and mark them touch tight. So when the ball got headed down, you can go and compete for it. There's no one there. And he just flicked it into the empty goal to make it 2-0. First one was a brilliant ball in from John McGinn, which I personally want to see my goalkeeper come for that. That's just me.
Take everything out.
Come and collect it. Hey, I'm coming. And then people start looking the other way because your goalkeeper's coming out. with a bit of ferocity about him to try and win it. As it was, he's just stuck a yard from his goal and he can't react to it because he's waiting for someone to get a touch on it to try and make the save, and then when no one does, it goes beyond him into the far corner to make it 1-0. As I said, the credit has to go to Villa. I think they're the ones that came here with a really good game plan that's worked so far in the opening 45 minutes.
Were they in a little bit of danger as that half was dwindling towards its embers there, that they just maybe took the foot off the gas at the end there, Aston Villa?
They stopped doing what they've done well, and that was getting the ball out wide to Bailey on the right hand side, and also Digne not getting forward. But that can happen, Adam, because you're 2-0 up. You know you're coming up to half time. They don't have to go and press the game anymore. They don't have to be the aggressors. They're looking at Manchester United and saying, right, well, will you push on? You're going to leave spaces, and then we're going to exploit it. There was one occasion where Aston Villa gave away a free kick 5 yards outside the box. And if it wasn't, I mean, there was an overload on the other side because United had committed so many into advanced positions. They're gambling a bit, and by doing that, Villa have just got to remain patient, keep doing what they've been doing defensively, and then they might just hit United on the counter-attack and maybe get another goal. But it's there for Manchester United to make a big comeback, but they've got to get us home support behind them. They weren't behind them early on, but as soon as they went a goal behind, they went flat because the team went flat. 2-0 down. There was no noise in the stadium apart from the away end where the Aston Villa fans are in dreamland at the moment, because we talked about the record here, which has been poor over the years, but they've came here with a really good attitude and deservedly are leading at half time.
Gigantic 45 minutes on the way here at Old Trafford. Let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Barry, welcome back to the show, my friend. I bet you there's value all over the place on Manchester United, isn't there, at half-time? What can you tell me?
Yeah, half-time in-play betting on the Betfair Sportsbook. Man United 12-1. Now Aston Villa 1-5 to go on and claim all 3 points. It's 5-1 the draw. If you think there's more goals in this game, over 3.5 goals is 4-7. Over 4.5 goals is 2-1. In correct score betting, you think it could stay 2-0 to the Villains. That's 5-1. 3-0 Aston Villa is 6-1, or potentially a 2-all draw, also 6-1.
Thank you, Barry. Much appreciated. That's all thanks to Betfair. You've got to be over 18. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. We're paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Now the football's been coming thick and fast all day on TalkSport. Earlier Liverpool won 2-0 at Burnley. Boss Jurgen Klopp was delighted as his side returns to the top of the Premier League.
Scored a goal which was disallowed, didn't see it back, just like everybody was asking me about it. Looks like not necessarily a foul, whatever. Wonderful goal, by the way. Score another one which I would say you cannot give that offside, but they did anyway, so it stays 1-0. And then obviously Burnley could have scored the equaliser definitely in these moments, because the game stayed open and they became a bit more direct, and we defended a little bit less, not as good anymore. It was the fourth game in 10 days. That's really brutal for a lot of boys on the pitch. But then with the least easy finishing situation, we finished it off and it's all good.
Ray, your old club is starting to tick, top of the league, looking really good.
Yeah, well, I've watched Liverpool over the last few weeks, Adam, and what they're also getting back is quality and depth to the team. Jota came back on the bench today, and he was
Aston Villa be joining them a little later on this evening. Meanwhile, Vincent Kompany said his side needed to show a little bit more quality in the final third.
Obviously, the second goal we concede is as a result of us committing more, and that's why the timing of when you do that is really important at this level. And I thought we managed that quite well as a team. But we had chances before, we had moments before, but the quality of execution in the final moment, the final third, that's obviously something that you either buy it or you grow it, and in our case we're trying to grow it.
Back here at Old Trafford, Manchester United are on the brink of their 14th defeat of the season. They trail Aston Villa by 2-0 at the break. But what will the second half bring? It's all coming up next on TalkSport.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Now. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Paddington is back in McDonald's Happy Meal. Join him in discovering all the fun of the festive season, like ice skating, pulling crackers, singing songs, and even playing games. But the best thing is, everyone can enjoy the magic with Paddington and Happy Meal. Have a very berry Christmas with Paddington. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until 3rd of January from 11 a.m. Includes one pre-selected book or toy while stocks last. See mcdonalds.co.uk/Happy Meal for detail.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus, BeGambleAware.
Get set for the year ahead with a Screwfix winter sale. It's on now and packed with savings on trade essentials. From unmissable low prices on power tools, storage and landscaping, to must-have deals on hand tools and workwear. It's all in the Screwfix winter sale. Shop now, on the app, at screwfix.com or in-store. Don't miss out. End 7th of January. Screwfix, the choice of champions. While stocks last, visit screwfix.com for delivery charges and restrictions.
Who are you going for in the racing today?
The favourite.
And tomorrow? The favourite. And the next day? The favourite. The Sun's horse racing pullout, The Favourite, is now in the paper 7 days a week. Yes, that's right. Every single day. Bringing you even more top tips, more form guides, more race cards, and all the colours and silks. Get your favourite pullout every day in the Sun, the home of racing.
Ah, that'll be my Amazon delivery.
Magnificent goal! Beautiful football! Brilliant finish!
Amazon delivers the Premier League. Live today from 11:30. Manchester United v Aston Villa, Burnley v Liverpool, and Newcastle v Nottingham Forest. Only on Prime.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. On your mobile and on your smart speaker. Christmas 2023 on TalkSport.
Here's the corner towards the far post, heading down and into its own net. And Manchester United have conceded again in double quick time. Clement Longley from the delivery heads the ball down. I think it then comes off. Then Donker, who sticks out his right foot and pokes it beyond Onana.
Just a little reminder, over on TalkSport 2 we've got live EFL commentary of first versus second as Ipswich take on Leicester. Leicester currently winning that game by 1-0. They're into the second half there. To listen along, download the app. It is extremely easy to do. As the teams return to this Old Trafford turf, Aston Villa leading by 2-0 against Manchester United. What do Manchester United have to do, Ray, in this second half to turn the tide?
Well, start quickly. Make sure that they stay onside a lot more than they do. I still think there's something in it for them, but you need to get the next goal as quick as they can. I just think with Villa and the way that they play, they gamble a little bit with that square back four. There's a lot of space to play the ball in behind them, but then you need the quality of run and also the quality of pass, which hasn't been quite there from Manchester United. If Villa could get another one, though, it'd be it's game over, and Manchester United will be having serious problems, as will the manager.
Well, earlier on TalkSport, Liverpool got to 42 points. They are top of the tree in the Premier League. Will Aston Villa be joining them in 45 minutes' time? Calling you through the second half here at Old Trafford, it is Ray Houghton and Sam Matterfest.
Well, if it continues like this tomorrow morning, I won't need to go into the studio to cover for Jim White. I'll just record an intro piece, ask Alex Crook one question, and I'm sure it'll be 1 o'clock. We're underway at the start of the second half. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 2. And Manchester United haven't made any changes at half-time. Aston Villa neither. And it's still as you were, with Manchester United red shirts, white shorts, black socks. And it's all light blue for Aston Villa, who lead by 2-0. And I'll go through the 2-11s for you in just a second. There is a free kick given against Christian Eriksen for a foul on, it's Diego Dallo for a foul on Leon Bailey, and it's going to be a free kick on the cusp of the centre circle inside Manchester United territory. They've got Onana in goal. The right back is Wan-Bissaka, who's got a lot of work to do. Varane, Evans and Dallo at the back four. Mainu, Eriksen and Fernandes in the middle, and it's Rashford up top. Here's Bailey into the centre once again from the right hand side into the box. It's only half cleared. Watkins has ended up in the net. The ball didn't. It's come out towards this right hand side, and they'll recycle it once again. Aston Villa, Højlund and Rashford and Garnacho are the three men that are supposed to be leading the line for Manchester United. Aston Villa have got Martinez in goal, made a couple of good stops. Cons as the right back. Carlos and Longley have been very good at the heart of the defence. Digne's been good going forward. Ramsey, who's been booked, is on the left hand side. McGinn on the right. Louise and Dendoncker in the centre, and Bailey supporting Watkins. It's 2-0. And Ray Houghton, are you surprised to see Rasmus Højlund at the start of the second half?
Well, I thought that what they might have done was maybe put Rashford a little bit closer to him, give him a little bit more support, because he just looks like he's lost his confidence, no real belief in his general play at the moment. Obviously they've spent big money for him. He's a young lad, he's still learning his trade, but he just doesn't look a threat at the moment. He's not holding the ball up, he's not commanding the two centre halves, so they're bullying him a little bit. But the others have got to try and help him out as well and get support to them.
Fernandes up towards Højlund, who sends it back to Fernandes, and now Rashford is in behind. He's played the ball to Garnacho. Garnacho thinks he's onside. Martinez is on the ground. Garnacho looks to score at the Stretford end, and he runs away in celebration. The crowd erupts. There is a little bit of a delay because they're not entirely sure whether or not he was onside or not. Has he timed his run to perfection? Well, certainly the assistant on the far side kept his flag down. It's a very good finish from Alejandro Garnacho, but they are checking for a possible offside, and there is a nervousness in the dugout as there is around the stadium. They want that release, they want that moment to celebrate, but they may just have to wait a couple of seconds. Good move, Fernandes, Højlund, back to Fernandes. He released Rashford, who spotted the run of Alejandro Garnacho. Was he in line with Rashford? Was he behind the ball, or had he just strayed? VAR is checking.
My first reaction when I seen it, I'm quite a distance away from it, but just in general play, I thought he was offside. I thought Rashford should have taken it on and took the responsibility himself. He's played it out to Garnacho on that right hand side, and he showed a little bit quality and belief in his ability to take it beyond the goalkeeper. Took it to his right hand side and then got his shot on target to get it back into the back of the net to, well, it looks like he could get Manchester United back into the game. Erik ten Hag is absolutely delighted. That's a perfect start. That's what you'd have been looking for. And credit to them, Sam. They played out from a really tight area, deep in their own half defensively. They worked it really well, and then Rashford with space to get in behind the back line of Villa after Bruno Fernandes had played him through.
Craig Pawson is stationed inside the 18-yard box. They're still checking the goal with VAR, mapping out the lines through the technology. The fact that he's stayed so deep usually indicates that he's going to pull it back for the offside.
Well, look at Digne's just going off the side of the pitch, injured at the moment. I think he ran into the post. And his desire and determination to try and keep the ball out.
Yeah, it's overturned, no goal, offside.
Well, look, 40, maybe 100 yards away from it, and I can see it from here, and I've called 6 offsides, and I've got every one of them right, because you can see the angle. I'll come back to you, I think Rashford should have taken it on. You know, I would have expected someone of his ability to have seen that Garnacho was just offside, and he should have ran himself and taken it to the goalkeeper, maybe then pulled it back for Garnacho. But it's a big turning point in the game. United thought they were back in it,
and they're not. And VAR Stuart Atwell has deemed that goal offside, and Aston Villa have come at the other end with Bailey into the penalty area. He's gone past 2 players, then played the ball into the 6-yard box, and Watkins just a little bit on his heels. Sees Onana pick it up, but that offside goal, Garnacho, we haven't seen a replay of it actually with the lines to see how far offside it was. It was probably just only a fraction, but it was enough. And Digne has come off on this near side, and they've had to make a change now. And Alex Moreno is on in his stead over on the far side because of that injury. And the former Real Betis left back, who was Emery's first signing actually when he for Villa over the course of the season. Varane has spotted the run of Eriksen in behind Diego Carlos. He's taken a touch. Diego Carlos is rapid and speedy, and he's got across his body, and he's managed to nudge the ball towards the near side. Not enough to clear it. Rashford has got it back in the left wing position. Fernandes lazily sticks out a foot and pokes it against Dendoncker, but it bounces kindly for Eriksen, whose delivery into the box is not high enough to beat Carlos. He heads it out away for a throw in for Manchester United. Left side level with the edge of the 18-yard box.
Well, we said about Aston Villa and the line that they keep, they're quite square as a back four, and there's so much space to run into. It's all about the timing of the run. Eriksen timed it to perfection, but just hasn't got the pace to get away from the defender Carlos, who done really well to come back and see off the danger.
Here come Manchester United into the box with Rashford with a cross which goes over Emi Martinez's head and Højlund and out to the far side.
Low and hard, son. You've done really well to get into the position that you have, and now you've just got to fire it in. If he takes hits off one of the defending players and goes into the goal, doesn't matter, but you've hit it into the right area there. Just lacking in confidence, and he skied it, and he's gone out the other side of the field for a throw-in.
I mean, such is the confusion at Old Trafford. They've only just changed the scoreboard back to 2-0. It said 2-1 for about a minute and a half. Here's the lines. We've seen them now, and it is quite a distance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's further than you think. It'll look a lot closer, Sam, but you've got an instinct, as an ex-player, when you look at something and you can see, you think he's gone too early. Yeah. He should have just bided his time. There was no need for him to run as quickly as he did in front of Rashford. He could have just timed it a little bit better. But I'll go back. I would like to have seen Marcus Rashford go himself, and then if needed he could have pulled it back for Garnacho, but he was in behind the back line of Villa on that occasion.
Højlund trying to run in behind. Emi Martinez has spotted it again and darts out to the edge of the penalty area and nudges it into the right full-back Ezri Konsa. Still 2-0 to Aston Villa, live on TalkSport. We played 7 minutes in the second half, but United have won the ball back high up. It's poked into Garnacho, who's had a goal disallowed. Goes back to Fernandes, down the right it goes. Interception is by Moreno, and Aston Villa have it once again, and Moreno scoots past Fernandes and goes beyond him and then tucks it back to Douglas Luiz, and a modicum of control returns to Aston Villa, who lead by 2-0 and will go level on points with Liverpool at the top of the table. Manchester United here, who haven't lost a Boxing Day game at Old Trafford since 1978, are in danger of going 5 games without scoring a goal. They haven't done that since the 1973-1974 relegation season. It's their worst return of goals at this stage since that season.
They can't allow this to happen, for Villa to play the ball back to the goalkeeper, and he's going to take an eternity to play the ball forward because there's no one closing down. You've got to go and do it as a group. If Højlund goes, then Rashford's got to go, Eriksen's got to go, Fernandes has got to go, and Garnacho, everyone has to go together. They just can't allow Villa to play the ball around in the manner that they are at the moment, just to take the sting out of the game.
Well, Manchester United beat Villa twice here last season, but this season it's going to be a very different experience unless they can find a way back into this game. Cut out by Varane, played out towards the right side. Fernandes tries to win the tackle and does, and then sends the ball forward for Rashford, and Emi Martinez is out, and he gets there ahead of Rashford, but did he collide with Marcus Rashford? Was it a late challenge, and is that going to be a free kick, and is Emi Martinez going to find himself in a spot of bother, because he came careering out. He did get the ball, but he did follow through. Did he know what he was doing?
It's a big call here for the referee, and I'm glad to see that Craig Pawson's just given himself a minute to think this through. You know what exactly happened there. It looked like the ball over. I thought Rashford was favourite to get there. Martinez done really well. I mean, it came about from a block tackle there from Bruno Fernandes, then the ball over the top. You can clearly see he's onside. I think it may have been there Longley that was playing him on over that left hand side, but he won the ball, and it's just the way that he's come through with it that Rashford's got in the way of it. I don't think you're going to get anything for that. I really don't. I just think that's the goalkeeper winning it, and then the two of them just coming together. So I don't see a great deal in that.
Well, he's come out and he's won it with his feet, and I mean, look, Ten Hag is unhappy, and he's saying that was a reckless challenge, but really and truly, he's come out, he's won the ball. And it's the follow-through, actually, of Rashford trying to still win it, which means that these two connect.
Yeah, as I say, I don't think it's a free kick or any decision to be made by the referee as far as that's concerned. And you can see with Martinez, initially he was like, oh, I might be in trouble here, because he's probably seen it before. When there's a coming together like that, where it doesn't always go in your favour. But I don't see anything wrong with that from Martinez. And it's, as you say, it's just two lads going at full pace. Martinez has got there first, he's cleared it, and then Rashford's legs are there, and there's just a coming together. And the home support's not happy, but I think it's the right decision.
It is the right decision. He was involved the year before last, wasn't he, Emi Martinez, in putting off Bruno Fernandes and celebrating with gusto as Fernando sent a last-minute penalty over the top of the crossbar. That meant that Aston Villa won here for the first time since 2009. Courtney House scored that day. Here's Garnacho, on to Fernandes. A right-footed shot, saved down low to his right by Emi Martinez. From the edge of the 18-yard box, wide right position, it was a good save by Emi Martinez. Aston Villa don't win here very often. That was their only victory in 13 visits, a win given to them by Courtney Hawes. Their previous victory before that was back in December 2009 here, 1-0. Gabby Agbonlahor, whatever happened to him? He scored the only goal 14 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, what a good start it's been from Manchester United. They've certainly been on the front foot. They've been a different team as far as passing a bit quicker. You know, they've timed the runs better as far as offside's concerned. Once again, Rashford's gone. Johnny Evans wants to take another touch, because Evans is not that type of player. He's not confident enough to play it as early as he should have done there, and the space was there to play the ball into. And it looks bad. It looks really bad, because Rashford's now in an offside position, and Johnny Evans has gone short rather than getting his head up and playing the pass. That's where they've got a bit of joy, playing it quickly over the top and getting runners in, as we've seen with Eriksen. We've seen it with Rashford a little bit earlier.
57 minutes on the clock, and Mainu is hounded by Watkins. Anana sends it long out towards the left. Ezri Konsa will get there. It's bounced kindly for Højlund, who's almost got the second ball back from Bruno Fernandes, but Diego Carlos masterfully reads it, wins it, distributes it, and that huge frame of lower body strength, let's say that, from John McGinn holds and shields the ball and allows Aston Villa to slalom up the pitch over on the far side. It's 2-0 to Aston Villa live on TalkSport in the Premier League, and it's a game that Manchester United cannot afford to lose. It's a game that Manchester United cannot afford to lose again without a goal scored. But they are at this moment behind the 8 ball. They've had a goal disallowed for offside, but they've pinched it again high up. And now Fernandes has released Rashford into the penalty area. His ball across towards the far post. Garnacho tucks it in, and this time he won't be denied. Alejandro Garnacho in front of the Stretford end finally has his goal, and Manchester United finally have a goal. It's been a hell of a long time without one. 449 minutes, I think. But Manchester United finally have something to celebrate, and they're back in the game at Old Trafford.
Yeah, game on, Simon. It came from a mistake from Carlos. Tried to play a little straight ball in to Douglas Luiz. It was Fernandes who was first on to win it, and then he played it down this left channel for Marcus Rashford, and that's a lovely ball. That's a lovely weighted pass. The time and the run from Garnacho was perfect. He just had to adjust himself slightly to get his right foot on it, just to guide it beyond Martinez into the opposite corner. The keeper dived one way, ball went the other, and it's certainly game on now.
It's just under 440 minutes since they last scored a goal, Manchester United, and they finally got one from Alejandro Garnacho, his 4th of the season. Here's Bailey at the other end with a volley saved by Onana down to his left brilliantly and athletically and vitally for Manchester United. That would have been a sucker punch. Here he is again, Bailey on the ball on the edge of the penalty area. It's into Konsa, whose cross is a good one. The goalkeeper comes and doesn't get great contact. Back into the box, Bailey. It's on to Jacob Ramsey, whose shot's blocked by Wan-Bissaka, and somehow Manchester United run it clear over towards the far side. 60 minutes on the clock. What a second half we're going to have now.
What a save that was as well, Simon. Brilliant play down the left-hand side from Aston Villa, and Bailey with a strike, and the keeper reacted so well to get across his left-hand side to get a good left hand on it. And eventually came back to Bailey again, delivered into the back post, and that was decisive from Onana because Wan-Bissaka was there. He wasn't taking control of the situation. The keeper came out and got a good right hand to it to push it out the 18-yard box. Moreno with the ball in, Bailey with a strike with his left foot, and that's a very good save because he was going to his right side initially, then his reaction to get back to get a good left hand onto it.
Aston Villa looking to respond to the concession of that goal from Alejandro Garnacho, and they almost did. Andre Onana has made a huge save. Here's the corner, far side, in towards the back edge of the box, into the air by Højlund. It's going to go over his own net and out for another corner. It's Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 2. On TalkSport with Now, and don't forget with Now you can stream all the Premier League action live without a contract, $11.99, search Now Sports.
It's a big 5 minutes or so for Manchester United. They can ill afford to concede a goal now, having got themselves back into the game with that goal from Garnacho. It's been a good spell in the last few minutes from Aston Villa, who put United under a bit of pressure.
Ball delivered by Douglas Luiz towards the far post. Diego Carlos over the top.
Free again. There's no one picking them up. You know, the movement's okay. There's plenty of height in this Aston Villa side, but it's just simple movement. No one's there, even close attendance to the defender, and he should have done better. Under no pressure at all. He missed the target completely.
The set piece coach Austin McPhee maybe came in for quite a lot of praise at the half-time break for the 2 set-piece goals in the first half, but I don't really think he needed to construct anything magnificent to release Diego Carlos there. Marcus Rashford couldn't come up with anything even basic to release one of his teammates on that occasion. He just ran it too far in front of him and it was intercepted, and Aston Villa got it back.
I'm not going to blame Rashford there. Højlund's not even looking. What he wanted there, Rashford, is just to play a wall pass, so play it into Højlund and get it back. Højlund just run in behind the 2 centre-halves without any knowledge of what Rashford was trying to do. And that comes down to communication. You know, these lads are training every day together. They should know instinctively when he gets the ball what Rashford's wanting to do. He's not just going to run past everyone. He's going to play a wall pass, then use his pace without the ball to play a little 1-2 with the Manchester United attacker.
Here is Onana under pressure, manages to clear it up over the halfway line. It's looking for Garnacho again, who uses his body to outmuscle the defender, moves towards the edge of the box, takes on Longley, right-footed shot towards the far corner, whistles past the post. Another great opportunity for Manchester United, and Garnacho showing what a threat he can be. Used his body to shrug off Moreno, ran diagonally towards the edge of the box, faced up Longley, got it onto his right foot and dragged it just narrowly wide of the post. Still 2-1.
Great strength from Garnacho to hold off Moreno over on that right-hand side, the left of Aston Villa. But I just wonder the angle. It was such an acute angle, where they should have tried either one square or pull it back. Watch the run that Bruno Fernandes made from deep, and he's just waiting for a little ball played back, and maybe he was in a better area to get his strike at goal. As it was, Garnacho tried the shot, never troubled the goalkeeper.
Choices. It's all about choices. It's Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 2. For the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, where right now you can get Manchester United to win the game 4-1. Back Aston Villa at 5-4 on. or you can back the draw at 9-4. Don't forget, Betfair are paying out winning bets at 90 minutes with 90-minute payout. Applies to match odds, 90-minute markets, all markets with a 90 icon. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
See the changes, and then was 12-1 I think I've seen earlier on, and 10-1.
12-1 for the draw and 10-1 for Manchester United to win was the odds offered in the first half when they were 2-0 down. It's a slight change now, isn't it? They've certainly come in, and with understandable reason as well. Diego Carlos sees it back to his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. Remember, they had a goal disallowed before Garnacho got one back. It's 2-1 to Aston Villa. Bailey's made a effort on goal and forced Onana into a terrific save after Manchester United got on the score sheet. So we have a lively encounter here at Old Trafford on Boxing Night. It's been a lively old Boxing Day as well. Forest beating Newcastle 3-1. At lunchtime, Chris Wood with a hat-trick. We've had Luton fight back to beat Sheffield United 2-1. They were 13 minutes away from defeat in that game. Bournemouth dispatching Fulham. In the Championship, Southampton thrashing Swansea. League One leaders Portsmouth lost today. League Two, Wrexham beat Swindon. And we've got Championship action for you live on Talk Sport 2 at this moment in time. But we're concentrating here on Manchester United against Aston Villa. Tomorrow night, Chelsea against Palace on 2. And Everton against Manchester City on Talk Sport. Wednesday night, Arsenal against West Ham. Here is Højlund in behind Diego Carlos. He's called down his ears. Is that a penalty? And the referee, Craig Pawson, looks across and the flag is up far side. And it's going to be an offside flag rather than a penalty kick.
I tell you, that was tight as well. And it wasn't good defend from Carlos. It allowed Højlund to get in behind him, and then he was caught the wrong side and just brought the player down, and he's delighted to see that the flag went up there, the Aston Villa defender.
So they will check here for an offside in the build-up to it. If he is offside, nothing will happen. But if he isn't, and he is offside, I'm afraid, for Manchester United listeners all across the world, then there was a chance that they might have changed their mind.
Once again, though, he's a young lad. You know, he's not anticipating. He's looking at the ball, and he's not looking where the defenders are. You've got to come back to move forward.
How do you teach? Do you teach that?
It's not very difficult. Honestly, it's just about your movement. You know, most good strikers could show that to him.
Well, they got Benny McCarthy on the coaching staff at Manchester United. Would that be something he would be working on?
Well, I'm sure he'd be reviewing the match and having a look at the amount of times they've been caught offside, and it's something to work on. You know, once again, it's about timing. You've got to look at the player on the ball, and once he's going to make a motion to kick the ball, that's when you can start running.
8 offsides in the game against Manchester United, none for Aston Villa so far. 66 minutes on the clock, and the offside trap from Aston Villa works 90% of the time, it must be said. Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 2, live on Talk Sport. Alejandro Garnacho getting a goal back in this second half after goals from McGinn and Dendoncker in the first half of the game. And at half-time, the idea of a comeback looked forlorn, but there's desperation around this place at this moment in time, with a change of football control going to Sir Jim Radcliffe and his team. Sir Dave Brailsford is here today, and Eric Ten Hag can't afford to go another game defeated, especially not here. They haven't lost 3 consecutive games at Old Trafford since 1962, and Sir Matt Busby's reign was a long time ago that season. Harold Macmillan was the Prime Minister. A pint of beer cost 11.5p. A pint of milk 6.5p. There wasn't much difference between a pint of milk and a pint of beer. And Aston Villa went on to finish 7th, hoping for better than that this year. Runners up in the League Cup under Joe Mercer. Manchester United finished 15th that season. That didn't happen too often under Busby. Ball sent long down the right side. Chasing was Wan-Bissaka. Too heavy, goes out of play. I had to translate all those prices, by the way, from shillings and D's earlier on today. It was
just asked me, I would have told you.
Yeah,
I'm old enough.
it along.
Just there's a slight change to the way that Villa are lining up at the moment. Ramsey's gone really wide, you know, whereas before he was coming in field quite a lot. He's actually staying really well to help out Moreno over on that side of the field, because Garnacho's getting a bit of joy, and John McGinn, who was playing on the right over free, is now going into a much more central position, a lot closer to Ollie Watkins.
Well, we've got a big 23 minutes. That was a foul throw from Rafa Varane over on the far side, a yard inside opposition territory. Craig Pawson has let it go. Manchester United, who are a little bit like that really annoying dinner party guest that turns up late
takes a little while to warm up and then ends up stealing the show. Here is Garnacho over on the far side, trying to get in towards the edge of the penalty area, goes beyond the defender, pokes it behind. And Aston Villa will well be aware that 39% of all Manchester United's goals in the Premier League this season have come after the 75th minute of the game. They didn't look like producing any sort of comeback on Saturday lunchtime against West Ham, but they've had a couple of unlikely comebacks here. Brentford and Nottingham Forest know all about that. Aston Villa should be a different kettle of fish. Eriksson with the corner into the near post. It's terrible. It's away by Moreno. Eriksson again on the far touchline. Back in by Fernandes. Headed away by Watkins. And then picked up by Jacob Ramsey. Varane goes across, tucks it back into centre field, and then Mainu has a chance to start an attack for Manchester United once again. 70 minutes on the clock. Out goes Rashford to the far side, moves towards the edge of the penalty area, looks to take on Konza, and didn't really show as if he was going to have the gall to do that. Konza brings the ball clear, and Bailey wins the throw-in on this near side. 2-1 to Aston Villa.
Just looking at Emery in these technical area, not too happy with his team. He's absolutely furious. He wants them to get a little bit higher up the pitch and pass it a bit quicker than they have been at the moment. I think he's just looking at who was the players that he was throwing his arms at there, and I think it was Moreno, the fullback, and Ramsey. Not too happy with the way that they've defended over on that left-hand side, the right of Manchester United getting at them.
Watkins keeps it in on this near side and then is played down the right towards Dalot, who comes across and manages to get a deflected clearance into Aston Villa territory. Manchester United desperately trying to pull deep on those reserves to try and find a way back into this game and craft another chance. Garnacho might be its best hope. Here is a ball out towards the right side, comes back to Garnacho fortuitously, and he shoots. It's beyond Emi Martinez, and from nowhere Manchester United have constructed a second half comeback. Played it to Fernandes, whose ball into the box deflected kindly for the young Argentine, who smacked it left-footed beyond the goalkeeper Emi Martinez. And it's Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 2, and now Unai Emery is telling his troops to calm down.
Well, I've got to say, the atmosphere in the stadium has absolutely changed dramatically. It's erupted in here. Garnacho with the run, ball played into Bruno Fernandes. It wasn't the greatest of balls. As the strike came in, I think there's a question mark whether Hoyland was in the eye line and Martinez the goalkeeper. It didn't look like it. It was a really good finish from the youngster, just waited. Actually took a little deflection off Carlos, the defender, when the shot came in. There's a deflection which took it beyond Martinez into the goal, and at 2-2 it's certainly game on now.
Old Trafford roars. Well, you wait 3 and a bit weeks for a goal to come along, and then 2 come along at once from the same boy. Here is McGinn, space on the far side though for Alex Moreno, into the Manchester United penalty area, goes on the outside of Wan-Bissaka, sets it up for John McGinn, it's cleared off the line by Johnny Evans. Goalkeeper was beaten, Manchester United should have been beaten, and that should have been another goal for Aston Villa, but somehow, some way, they just about managed to repel it. Rafael Varane is unhappy. They thought they...
Well, Fernandes has been booked, I think. He's not happy. He's throwing his arms around. He's got to be careful.
He's been booked for dissent. He went right up to Craig Pawson to display his displeasure about the fact that the game had been stopped because there was a foul and they wanted a breakaway.
Don't forget, Dalot got sent off for something similar at Liverpool, didn't he? Where he wasn't happy with, and he got 2 yellow cards. You know, okay, you're not happy with the decision by the referee, but you can't start throwing your arms about, particularly if you've just got a yellow card. You've just got to accept the decision and get on with the game. But what a chance that was for John McGinn to give Aston Villa the lead, but great defending.
2-2, another ball over the top of that high line that once again has been threatened by Manchester United. Eriksson, Rashford in the centre circle now. We've got 14 minutes to go. Manchester United have come back from 2 goals down, and it's Alejandro Garnacho who's now on a hat-trick. If he can perform this rescue act, he'll be
going straight into the Manchester United folklore. He's had a couple of late winners in his time. Scored a late winner at Craven Cottage last season, one here against West Ham in the FA Cup. He does have a goal threat. Here's Højlund wrestling with Diego Carlos. Carlos brings him down, was using his body to drag the Dane to the floor. And that's going to be a free kick midway inside Aston Villa half on the left-hand side. And all of a sudden, the atmosphere inside Old Trafford has completely changed. I wonder if Sir Dave Brailsford is thinking, imagine what happens if we do get this right.
Yeah, I've got all to say there, though, that was much better hold-up play there from the young Manchester United striker. He showed his quality there and his determination and his strength to hold off Carlos and brought him to the ground. They didn't panic. Like you say, Johnny Evans has done really well defensively on a couple of occasions. There was one ball was just played down the channel for Watkins. He waited, bided his time, little ball back into Onana. We started the attack for Manchester United, who look favourites to get the next goal in this game.
Fernandes drifts the ball over towards the far side. It's funny how things can change so very quickly. Football is just so wonderful for that, the gift that keeps on giving, and there's 15 minutes to go.
We said that though in the first half, look, Aston Villa deservedly went in ahead, but they were vulnerable to anything played over the top, and they haven't defended that part of the pitch well enough. United, though, look like they really want to go on and win this game now.
Yeah, the second goal didn't come that way though, did it? It came from a mistake playing out from the back, which was turned over by Manchester United, and they took advantage. Wan-Bissaka thought he had robbed Jacob Ramsey of the ball. He hadn't. How important does that save from Onana feel now at 2-1 from Leon Bailey, seconds after Garnacho's first goal?
Nothing against Alex Moreno who's came on, but Digne was doing a good job on him, wasn't he? He was doing a very good job on Garnacho. But we've seen with Garnacho's strength and ability, and he's not been asked to defend anywhere near like he had done in that first half.
And Watkins has given the ball away, and Douglas Luiz has then failed to snaffle it up, and Rashford is running at Konza. He's gone past him. Konza's done well to slide in and win the ball back for Aston Villa in the right full-back position, and Douglas Luiz will bring it clear through the middle of the park. We've got 15 to go.
Just there with Rashford, because he's a right-footed player playing on the side of the pitch, his first touch was in, which favoured Konza to win it. If he had taken it outside of him, there's no way that Konza could have got back and made the challenge on him.
Again, Manchester United have won it high up, and they're turning the pressure levels up on Aston Villa's defence. It's Eriksen into Fernandes, edge of the D, tries to poke it forward, comes back out to Mainu. He sends it wide, attacking the left side of the area is Rashford. Rashford on his right foot flips the ball towards the far post. It's just too high for Højlund, headed away by Longley. Back out again to Rashford, in towards Diego Dalot, who's joined the attack. Tried a little something to trickery, and he couldn't manage to pull it off with any real poise, and it's smuggled out on the near side and away for a Villa throw.
Would it be fair to say that Aston Villa at the moment just look a little bit jaded? You know, you're looking a little bit tired. Mind, I'm just looking around the pitch at the moment, and I'm not surprised that the manager's going to bring on a couple of substitutes just to freshen it up, because they just look like they've gone off the pace a little bit. They're allowing the crowd, the home supporters in here, to affect them a little bit, where they're now sat back a little bit too often, not got forward enough. They did have one or two half chances, particularly when Bailey had that strike which Onana made the save from. I mean, that was a massive moment in the game.
Well, that's the end of the night for Jacob Ramsey and for Leon Bailey. They are replaced by Moussa Diaby and Nicolo Zaniolo, who scored that goal late on against Sheffield United to rescue a point. 2 goals in his last 3 games for the huge left-sided attacker who was signed from Roma in the summer.
Yeah, you just wonder tactically what Aston Villa are going to do now. I think one of the problems they've got is maybe they should ask John McGinn just to go back to help out a little bit more defensively. Dendong and Douglas Luiz are just getting a little bit overrun now. They're not getting close enough, not getting tight enough to the Manchester United players. They're playing at 1 and 2 touch, so they're not allowing the Villa players to get tight enough to win the ball, and just an air of confidence about United.
Big games coming up for Manchester United. Forest away after their victory today is their next one in the Premier League. Then they've got Wigan away in the FA Cup as well. It's Burnley at home next for Aston Villa, who we sort of maybe rather tongue-in-cheek, given the ball away, Manchester United here to Longley, who's got it out towards the left-hand side. Garnacho for a moment thought he was going to escape. We were sort of with our tongue in our cheek talking about a possibility of a 7-goal win for Aston Villa, taking them top tonight. But Rashford is still off the pitch on this near side, getting some treatment as Villa construct another attack, looking to get back in front after being pegged back from 2 goals up. It's now 2-2 at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Diaby, who's got pace to burn and trickery too, that can unsettle any defence, plays it back to Konza. In the middle of the park is Diego Carlos, and then it's wide out towards the left, where it's pushed out to the Spaniard Moreno. On to Clement Longley. Out goes Fernandez and Wan-Bissaka to try and shut them down. That's better defending from Manchester United.
Been a better all-round second half performance from United, isn't it? There's been a lot more tempo to the game. Passes have been better, closing down, defended in numbers. They're going to make a couple of changes. McTominay and Anthony just on the sidelines at the moment, waiting and ready to come on.
Rashford is back on the field of play now. Away by Longley, high up the field, into the middle of the park, handed away by Kobbie Mainoo, and then thrust forward by Eriksen, stopped by Douglas Luiz. It's out for a throw-in, level with the edge of the penalty on this near side. Once again, Old Trafford's volume is cranked up. Once again, there is a sense of anticipation that sweeps around this famous old ground. It needs patching up. Manchester United themselves need patching up at times, but there's still some of that DNA left in them. Have they got one of those famous old comebacks left in them to go and steal all 3 points here?
Plenty of time, as the Rashford's gone down again, so he might be one of the players to come off. I would imagine the other one's Christian Eriksen. You know, he's done remarkably well to last as long as he has, with very little game time in recent matches.
Off comes Rashford, on comes Anthony. Alejandro Garnacho just starts trotting to this near side. Anthony will go out to the far right-hand side. And the other change is Kobbie Mainoo, who goes off trying to conduct the orchestra on this near side. The youngster, who actually, I've got to be honest, I thought was really impressive on Saturday until he made his mistake, which led to the second goal. He's been impressive whenever I've seen him in a Manchester United jersey. He may well be young. He's only 18 years of age. He's only made his 5th Premier League start today, but he's got one hell of a future. Here's Dalot over on the far side looking for Anthony. Mainoo coming off, and oncoming Scott McTominay, Manchester United's top scorer. And he's got late goals before, and Anthony's robbed the ball inside the penalty area. And there was a slip there by the slender figure of Clement Longley under pressure from Anthony. And Anthony almost got away. Douglas Luiz had to get back.
He done well there, Douglas Luiz, to help out defensively.
1-1 in the Championship on TalkSport 2 between Ipswich and Leicester City. Sam Morsey with the goal. Ball delivered into the box. Comes back towards Rasmus Højlund, who turns and fires in. An amazing goal at the Stretford end. Manchester United somehow conjure an opportunity from a set piece that bubbled up in front of Rasmus Højlund. 16 domestic games without scoring, but what a time to break your domestic duck. His first Premier League goal for Manchester United might just be a winning goal at the Stretford end with just 9 minutes to go on Boxing Day against Aston Villa. Rasmus Højlund runs over to the far side. He celebrates. He's engulfed by his teammates because he's just scored the goal that has turned this game on its head. A Premier League thriller at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 3, Aston Villa 2.
Oh, incredible stuff there. From the corner kick, ball was delivered in, and there was this occasion where it was Aston Villa that was caught out defensively. No one really picking up. The first to react was Højlund after the ball came off John McGinn, and he was so quick with his left foot to dispatch it beyond Martinez into the back of the net, and then he was off and running to the far side, to the Stretford end, to the Man United supporters to celebrate with them his first league goal for his club. And Erik ten Hag in his technical area was jumping up and down. What a transformation in this second half from Manchester United.
Oh, he can't believe it. I don't think the Aston Villa fans can believe it either. At half-time, we did say just before half-time, they wanted the half-time whistle probably more than Manchester United. But the pendulum well and truly swung after half-time in terms of pressure for Manchester United.
I said to Adam at half-time, I said, this game is not over with. it's still in the balance. Even though Aston Villa 2-0 up, I just felt with Villa and the fact that they were defending in the way that they were leaving gaps to play the ball into, and I thought Manchester United could take advantage of it. Going back to the young lad Højlund there, it's not been his best night, he's not played as well as he can, but the manager kept the confidence in him by keeping him on the pitch, and he's came up trumps with that really important goal, and it's a fantastic finish from him.
Here's Diaby in behind Dalot towards the byline, gets into the box. Zaniolo goes over after a challenge from Dalot, waving his hand. His referee Craig Pawson saying no, and it's cleared away and upfield towards Rasmus Højlund. Once again, he can't hold it this time. 7 minutes to go before the end of the game.
I think Zaniolo should have went there with a bit more commitment. I thought he was a little bit half-hearted there. I think if he got onto the ball quickly, Dalot was already committed to the challenge.
Moreno into the box. It's behind Ollie Watkins, gobbled up by Douglas Luiz. Aston Villa aren't finished yet, by the way. They have a late goal or two in them as well. 3-2 Manchester United lead against Aston Villa, and that changes the complexion of the league once again, because they will jump above Newcastle United and West Ham if they win here. The ball picked up on the left hand side by McGinn. He slips inside the box. What a game he's had. He's ended up providing the inadvertent assist for Rasmus Højlund's goal, which could be a Manchester United winner, and he's also had a hand in 2 of the goals that Aston Villa have scored. 5 minutes to go. Can Aston Villa get themselves back in? The ball deflected into the box after a cross from Longley. Comes out of the area, cleared by Manchester United, back to Emi Martinez. Well, sometimes you have to wait for the best Christmas gifts, and maybe this is it for Manchester United fans. And those who unwrap those new Manchester United jerseys for Christmas, 1 or 2 little boys and girls would have got some in their stockings yesterday, and they might have been thinking, I can't be bothered to wear it today after what's happened recently. But this is why you stick with your team, this is why you go every week, this is why you still go football week in, week out. Stick your nose in the trough, go up those stairs, sit in the top of the tier of the Stretford end or the Sir Alex Ferguson stand and watch your side perform, because there's always drama in football. Whoever you support, John McGinn is off. On comes, first of all, on comes Tim Urabunam, who goes straight into the heart of the defence. And the other change sees John Duran go up front alongside Ollie Watkins. So they're playing with basically 4 attackers now.
Yeah, 4-2-4 formation for Aston Villa at the moment. Obviously they're just going to go for it as best they can to get themselves back into it. But it's been a remarkable game. Villa, as you said in the first half, good shape about them, got the goals at the right time, but couldn't sustain it in this second half. And you give United a bit of credit for their attitude.
Slipped by Urabunam, and away goes Garnacho, threatening to get beyond Conte. He's missed the ball there, and he's going to get a yellow card as a result, because he's taken Garnacho down.
He done well there, Garnacho, didn't he? Very direct, just pushed it past him. He knew that Konza was committed to the challenge.
There's still holes in Manchester United. Don't believe for 1 minute if they come away with 3 points here that things are turning. They gave away 2 soft goals in the first half, but they have shown once again that when things click for them, when things go their way, they can come up with moments, and they've come up with 3 special moments in this second half. A bit of fortune about the winner, which it looks like being at this moment in time, but again, you take nothing for granted with this team.
It was a bit fortunate because it got from McGinn, but what a finish though. You know, from a lad who was lacking in confidence and self-belief, and you know, most of the things he'd done, the crowd were getting on his back slightly, not all the time, but now and again. But to finish in the manner that he did, it was such a plum. It gave Martinez, who's been in good form for Villa, absolutely no chance. In off the post, and he was off and running to celebrate with the home support. Overjoyed, I think Giroud took one of the first players up to him, Onana, the goalkeeper. He must have run 100 yards to celebrate with the youngster, because he knows the importance of it. Listen to this reception he gets now.
Here comes Rasmus Højlund, who gets a standing ovation from the Old Trafford crowd.
There's one or two in the director's box that have stood up to applaud him too, as he walks over towards the near side. A Dane desperate for a goal, and one comes on Boxing Day. He's replaced by Campanella, who made his debut at the weekend, and it will go into a three-man defence now for Manchester United as they look to shut out the game.
Special moments in it for youngsters. You know, he's scored in the Champions League. He's not scored in the league game for his side. It looks like he might have got the one that is going to get them all 3 points.
First Premier League goal at the Stretford end. Erasmus Højlund looks like being the winner on Boxing Day and preserving that great Boxing Day record they have here at Old Trafford that goes back 45 years.
Did I see a stat where Aston Villa, when they go ahead, they normally win? I think it was nine matches they've gone ahead and won all 9 games. I said to you earlier that 100% winning record when they've been ahead. They've done it, yeah. That's what it's been like all season until today. The first time they've taken a lead in a game and not won. So far.
Oh yeah, there's still a few minutes to play. Well, there's at least 90 seconds to play, plus stoppage time. But it's Manchester United who are winning the ball over on the far side once again. And the Aston Villa fans who were so vocal, they were telling Erik ten Hag that he'd be collecting his P45 in the morning earlier in the game. And now a little bit quiet and slightly shyer and more retiring. Erik ten Hag has found out from the fourth official, by the way, who is Rob Jones, how many minutes are going to be added on.
Is that why he's arguing?
And he is absolutely furious about it.
Yeah, I was wondering what's going on in the technical area.
Let's see how many there are going to be added on, because I think there might well be 6 or 7 minutes that are added on here.
Maybe a little bit more.
Really? Oh. Well, I'll tell you, there's 9 minutes that are going to be added.
Are you seeing the ball then?
Here is Konza on this near side. All of a sudden there's a bit more life in the Villa fans away to our right hand side. That's why Erik ten Hag was so unhappy. 9 minutes of added time. More entertainment for us, more nerves for Manchester United, more chance for Aston Villa. Can they make it pay? We're into the final 9 minutes of the game. Stoppage time at Old Trafford with Manchester United in front by 3 goals to 2. What a game to witness.
I tell you, a big change as well, so I've never look around the stadium. It's still full. You know, normally at this stage of the game there'd be lots of the fans that are already left trying to beat the traffic. Not tonight. They're singing in every part of the ground at the moment, apart from the way in, who can't believe the fact that they were 2-0 up and now find themselves 3-2 down. But Unai Emery, any technical error, arms up, he wants more from his side.
So, elsewhere tonight, Ipswich 1, Leicester 1, full-time score from the Championship. 6 points between those two. A 5-point gap for Ipswich now to Southampton, who beat Swansea earlier today by 5-0 in the Championship.
Unbeaten in 14 games, and it's Southampton here today.
Unbelievable.
What a run they've been on.
What a great divisional championship is, with Leeds, Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester right at the top of it at this moment in time. Up towards the chest of Ollie Watkins, who takes the ball down and turns it back in field. It's John Duran who's just smacked it straight at Douglas Luiz, and now a chance to break for Manchester United, and it's released out to Alejandro Garnacho, who runs into the box. He goes on the inside, gets it onto his right foot. He's going to try and shoot, but he was running down a cul-de-sac, and he looks dead on his feet now. But he maybe should have kept the ball or given it to Anthony before Cramp has taken him to the floor. The referee is not going to stop the game here, and Aston Villa aren't either. They're going to play on, and Unai Emery is suggesting that they do so, and now they have stopped the game. For Cramp?
For Cramp, I didn't realise. Normally for head injuries, but not for Cramp. But he's been a constant threat, hasn't he? Particularly in the second half.
No one's ready, so Hannibal now has got to get changed very quickly. He's being spoken to. Is that Reece Bennett, who I think is getting his self changed as well down in front of us?
His eye's getting cramp. What's going on?
Maybe he had a little bit too much cranberry sauce yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's just how much effort he's put into the second half. He's made countless runs.
Well, he scored 2 goals. In fact, he scored 3 goals.
He got 3, where one of them was disallowed.
Almost a Boxing Day hat-trick for Alejandro Garnacho.
There's still time. There's 9 minutes that are going to be added, maybe a little bit more now, so we're going to go into the 100. Here is Konsa into the box, out comes Onana, grabs it from the sky, and he will clear. He's the only goalkeeper that's played for Manchester United this season. Andre Onana made a crucial save today, hasn't always been at his best this campaign. He's had a few wobbles. He was guilty against West Ham on Saturday of being a bit too timid when faced up by Jarrod Bowen, but he's produced the goods that have been required here today. Dan Gore and Hannibal about to come on for Manchester United, just to stiffen up the midfield. They're having to dip into the youth resources quite often now, Manchester United, such as the injuries. No Maguire, no Lisandro Martinez, no Shaw today.
But clever there as well with Fernandes just breaking up the play. I mean, you've got to be careful because he's on a yellow card, but he went in and made the challenge high up the pitch, gave away the free kick, but it slowed the play down.
17, Garnacho taken off, Eriksen taken off. Manchester United have come from 2 down, and at this moment in time it looks like they're going to put 3 points on the board again. That's been few and far between. Manchester United offering a late Christmas present for their supporters, goals and points. Just a 5th win in 13 games for Manchester United. And in front of Sir Dave Brailsford, United heading for, well, at this moment in time, a marginal gain. Here is Watkins into the box, trying to get a ball across the face of goal. Out towards this near side, collected by Konsa. Konsa plays it back to Irabunum, who looks to take on Hannibal, who is always all action, fast and fierce and in your face, sometimes a little bit indisciplined. And he's put some pressure on Konsa there and given away a free kick. Konsa wasn't happy about it.
Silly challenge to make as well there. We're under real pressure, Aston Villa. We're going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper, and unfortunately there Hannibal came in and just pushed Konsa over, and it's allowed Aston Villa the opportunity to get forward down this right hand side.
5 minutes to go. Aston Villa, I say 5 minutes to go in stoppage time. Aston Villa on the attack. Douglas Luiz on to the right hand side. Zaniolo takes on Dalot, gets to the byline, produces a cross, takes a deflection, and it will be hoisted clear by Scott McTominay. Unai Emery comes scurrying down the touchline. He wants to get things moving again. Irabunum has been pushed back a little deeper as the ball's been thrown by Konsa into Zaniolo. Dalot wins it under pressure from Zaniolo and then gives it to Dan Gore. Gore runs in to John Duran. It's going to be a Manchester United throw on this near side. Duran is not happy about it.
Yes, nor would I be there. I don't think there's a great deal in that. He was a little bit stronger than the Manchester United player Gore there. Maybe just lent into him slightly. The assistant was a good position to make the call. Manchester United, what they don't want to do now, Sam, is play deep. You know, don't give any encouragement to Aston Villa to try and put a little bit of pressure on them and get a few balls into the box, because you're looking around here with Duran coming on Zaniolo and others. There are a few crosses into the box, then would put a little bit of pressure on this Manchester United back line.
Ball headed into the air by Varane. That was a mistake. Campanella has to come across and does brilliantly and manages to get it clear. Now, some of these young players have added a little bit of heart and energy into this Manchester United team. Campanella, the latest to try and construct the orchestra. 73,574. Konsa back to Diego Carlos. Manchester United have come from 2-0 down, and at this moment in time they are in a winning position. 3-2 the score. Zaniolo cutting in field. It's won by Hannibal Mejbri near side. Can they see it out? Zaniolo wins it back again. Dalot manages to clear. Fernandes, was he in an onside position? He's kept it down well and played it on for Hannibal Mejbri. Anthony waiting in the centre. No one to aim at, they're just keeping the ball. 97 on the clock now. Of the 9 minutes that have been added, we've played 7 and a bit, and Manchester United have won a free kick and they're prepared to take the sting out of the game.
Clever from Hannibal, wasn't it? Just waited for contact. Held on to it really well over on this left-hand side. It came about with a lovely ball from Fernandes, who's actually done well in the second half. He's moved the ball a lot sharper than he did in the first. Showed his experience.
Hannibal goes down towards the corner flag again, waits and gets nudged off the ball. It's Douglas Luiz who wins the throw-in, and Aston Villa have got it back again. Can Aston Villa summon a late charge forward here? And they're under the cosh from Manchester United, who are penning them in. Those young players, Gore, Anthony chasing around, using the run their race.
Yeah, they do, but well, listen, they still might have one opportunity still left in them. The Man United fans, like, no one's sitting down anymore. They're all standing up, just looking all around us. Fans, and that is where they're anxious at the moment. You know, they know how much they've worked in the second half to get them into a winning position, but they want them to see it through, to get the 3 points, to get them higher up the league.
Up goes Konza towards the halfway line, down the right to Zaniolo. Picked up by Dalot, who runs out towards the corner flag, and then it clearly came off Dalot last, so it must be a free kick for Manchester United.
Yeah, I think there's a little nudge there with his left foot there from Zaniolo. He's not complaining too much to the referee about the challenge. Varane trying to wind up the home supporters to get behind him. I don't think you need to do that at the moment. I think you've got to try and calm them down a little bit and calm the players down.
Old Trafford, and it's intoxicating best. Manchester United aren't perfect, and those imperfections have been exposed again tonight. But there are still players that have the ability to ruffle even the most composed of feathers. And often Aston Villa are that. Composed, controlled, a team that can sustain a rearguard action. They don't lose very often. They haven't lost since Bonfire Night. But it's Manchester United's second half fireworks that have done the damage. And they are mere seconds now from an almighty celebration. The build-up to Christmas was tough, but the fallout from it might just be one huge moment of relief. This is what it's like to win. This is what it's like to come back from 2 goals down at half-time at Old Trafford on Boxing Day. A win for only the second time in 8 matches, courtesy of 2 goals from Alejandro Garnacho and a first in the Premier League for Rasmus Højlund. A winning goal for Rasmus Højlund. And what a time to get it as well. When all seemed lost, Garnacho pounced. And when all the pressure was rolling towards the Stretford end, the ball popped up.